Guys, to another tattoo critique here on the channel. It's been a while since we've done a tattoo critique here on this channel because me and Andy been monkeying around, going back and forth, and we've been off this channel for a couple of Sundays now. I'm gonna mute myself over here. We had a couple of weeks where we weren't here. There was had some stuff going on, and then it was Easter Sunday, and I figured let you guys be free, not tie you down here on the channel. But we are back today with another tattoo critique. I got Andy waiting on the side here. We'll jump him in just a minute. But again, before we even get started here, guys, me and Andy do these tattoo critiques because you have asked us to. I've wanted to quit doing this many a times, mainly because it's really an awkward thing to look at somebody else's hard work and critique it when you know that somebody could very easily do the same thing to you. And it's a tough thing. So I give all of you guys credit for sending stuff in, good, bad, or not. We try to be respectful, but we also try to just, point you in a direction. Now, keep in mind, we might tell you, hey, this line's a little wobbly, but we're at the same time knowing that we make our own wobbly lines at times. So it comes from a place of love, guys. We do want to help you out. And again, I wouldn't be doing this stuff if you guys didn't ask us to continue doing it. So here we are. So we're going to try to have some fun tonight, look at your work, answer questions along the way. If you have a question, throw it in the chat. We'll try to pick it up and answer along the way. We're going to go for a couple hours, depending on how many emails we have, depends on what we'll get through. If we don't get to yours, I am sorry. It does go by a first come, first serve kind of basis. So first set of people that send them in, I think we got maybe like 10 emails right now. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in a few minutes, but yeah. So if you got anything, go ahead and send it in. There's probably still time as of now. And anyhow, with that out of the way, guys, if you wouldn't mind giving the stream a like if you're watching right now, it would help the channel out, help these streams out and what have you. But nonetheless, we've got our core group of people here that we love hanging out with. And with all that being said, let's see how Andy has been since the last time we saw him. What's going on, Andy?
Now then, Dave, can you remember what you're doing? It's been a while.
I tell you, my wife actually made the thumbnail today.
Yeah.
I had some stuff to take care of. I went and visited my mom and whatnot. The kids were sick today, so we didn't lug them to church and get everybody else sick. But I usually go visit my mom on Sundays, catch up with her. So I went and did that. And my wife was kind enough to make the thumbnail today. I think she did a pretty good job. I don't know where she found this tattoo, and I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. And we're going to have to talk about it here. And then we'll jump over and say hello to all of our friends. Bam. Oh, where's it at? Let me see. It's on the screen, but I don't see it here. There it is. Okay, so she found some pretty wild ones, but she chose this one as, the best of the worst. And I don't know, maybe in today's style, this might be something people like, this sort of like, for lack of a better word, kind of like a trashy thing. Yeah. I don't know, but to me, I'm like, dang. I don't know what the theme is here. Chaos maybe, but none of these tattoos are really done well regardless of the style, but I'm going to have to ask you to stop doing this, Andy. You're really breaking my heart here to have to critique your work like this.
But the thing is, it's so easy to do, Dave. They just come in and just say, plonk it on, whatever you want. Feel free.
I heard there was this blindfolded tattoo lady that tattoos blindfolded or something like that. I'm like, maybe you're taking a page out of her book.
That's it. It just says no stencils, freehand. Just get a Sharpie marker, and away you go. So what I do is I usually draw one. I'll get wife to draw one time, get daughter to draw one. Then sometimes, even if there's a spare customer, I'll just say, come in here, draw something on there, and we'll just put away on. So it's just one of them things. It's a free for all.
That's right. You just. But I mean, I guess I've got some bad tattoos that I've done on myself. I've got some bad tattoos that I've had done on me before, and they're cool. Like there is a certain amount of like, that reminds me of a story, a time in my life where that thing happened. I don't know if I'd let it go this far personally, but I know there's somebody out there who's like, I'd rock that. So let me know, would you rock that? Or is this kind of like a hodgepodge disaster? I'm curious, but nonetheless, I thought it was wild enough. Oh, Danik says that's Andy's tattooing without taking his Parkinson's pills. Damn.
me.
Ruthless. Looks like someone
I'm back,
lost a
back on
bet.
your channel and I'm getting smashed out.
Yeah, this is what you get for hanging out here, Andy. This is the love. You got what do we got here? Looks like someone lost a bet. Man, he lost a few bets. I mean, I would stop playing at this rate because these are multiple different sessions of tattoos, or just make better friends. This could be a sign to make better friends. I don't know. Hope you guys have a good stream. Just want to drop by and say, hey, driving, so I'll have to rewatch. That's smart, Bradley. Don't text and drive, as tempting as it may be. Yeah. What's up, guys? Haven't been here in a minute. All right. So with that out of the way, I'll drop this off of here, guys, and we will just say hello to a few people. Chase says maybe the kids colored a picture and he said it will get it tattooed. Look, that's very possible, but I don't know. That's a lot of times. And then there's some pieces there that you might just want to find a new tattoo artist because the kids are doing better work. Oh, look at that. All right, here we go. I will get to the tattoo critique. Fear not. Dave, I tell my girl about my shitty tattoos or my stories all the time. She says I'm crazy. Look, I get it. We're not going out there like looking for crap tattoos. Like, dude, is your work bad enough? Because I'm looking for a crap tattoo. But I don't know. Some of them are just cool because, again, I don't know. I look at some tattoos and it takes me right back to like time and place. I can hear the music playing. I don't know. It's pretty wild, some of them. I wish they were better, to be fair, but, it is what it is. How about you, Andy? You got any crappy tattoos?
Me?
Yeah. Is it me?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got quite a few crappy tattoos. Let's put it this way. I got one that was so crappy, Dave. I went and got it done and did line work and everything. And that come out of the shop and line work looked really good. Went back to get it shaded in and come out of the shop and went, well, I'll get that covered up or lasered off. Well, I literally walked out of the shop.
Dang.
It took me back then, it took me about 4 or 5 years to find somebody that covered it up.
Oh, my. Little did you know that someday you'd be owning your own shop with laser removal. Yeah. In fact, hey, if you guys haven't seen already, go watch Andy's channel. He did a video of himself, a live stream, and then cut it down to a video if you're impatient, of himself getting laser removal on his leg. I encourage you to go watch the live stream one. It's way funnier because you can see the preparation in Andy's eyes for what he's about to do, and his wife got to do that for him. How kind of her. Boy, a medal man.
Go drop some comments on it, and if you want me to do another session, I'll show you session number 2. Because probably, as it stands at the minute, it's probably reduced by about 40%.
Okay. How many more sessions do you think that one would take to be?
Well, each session as it goes. Like your first session with some people, like with this one, you'll lose a load. Then as you get less and less ink in your skin, it just takes a little bit longer for you to see the results. So with that one, I'd probably expect somewhere between 8 and 12 sessions, maybe just a little bit more,
Yeah.
And then this is the other thing. So if it's like £40-50 a session, which is like what, $60-70, and you're into 10, so that's $715,000. You know what I mean? Type thing to get it shifted.
So it's better to maybe plan ahead or just embrace the poor tattoos and just, I just tell people like, yeah, that's a memory. Like I will remember that moment and also wear that moment. I think there's sometimes you got to cover stuff up or get it lasered off. Well, at times you just embrace it.
Well, that's it. I mean, a lot of time, a lot of people that come, just the tattoos have been done ages ago, and they want them fading down to have a covered up. I've seen that one on Danex. Just faded down for a covered up. But then again, some of them just do want them gone.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, Andy, you ready to take a look at some tattoos, man?
Oh, do we have to? I hope there's none with any pictures of watches in.
Oh, right. You know, as I said, you do anything on the internet, Andy, don't you worry.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
you
you know what I mean?
worry.
I always thought them Karens were Facebook Karens and stayed on Facebook, but they found me on. They already found me on. They already found me on YouTube.
And Andy, they waste no time. Believe me, if you breathe the wrong way, you're gonna get crap for it. And sometimes it's like, all right, I hear you. You know what I mean? I remember I've done a thing or two here or there that people call you out on. You're like, all right, fair enough. And other times it's like, okay, all right, you know, but they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. Got to get used to it, I guess, man. You know what I mean?
It's like you got Mad Tattoos here. He's down in Coventry, which is obviously in UK. Got his thing. Just watched the spook vid. Time lapse was spot on video length and that. I appreciate it, but some bit more than somebody didn't appreciate me. Wanted to give me a top tip. Don't tattoo with a watch on.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is it's like, all right, I hear you, but you know, I mean, you wipe that, cavicide that Larry down, you'd be all right. But you know, it is what it is.
It is. I mean,
everybody's quick to let you know what you're doing wrong, but then again, that's what we do here. So
it is, and yes, it's a legitimate tip. It is a legitimate tip. I mean, in realisms, yes, it can be. But I've been wearing one for all my life, and I've been wearing one for 14 years, and I've, you know what I mean. I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
That. So
but you got to know that the internet knows best, man. They know. They know.
The thing is, it's on my stretching hand. It's on my left hand. It's not on my tattooing hand. And cross-contamination, yes, it can be. But then again, how many times I change my gloves through a tattoo regular? How many times do people change the tattoos? How many times do then they go grab the chair that they're sitting on to move it up and down, or grab it underneath, or the underneath of the tables? So you're not telling me that you've wiped all that after every single tattoo, because sometimes it just don't happen. So everything's a cross-contamination purpose. Once you get going, you wipe back of your head, you touch your jeans, you might touch your cheeks, everything.
It's tough, man.
Like you say, I wear glasses when I'm tattooing. Adjust your glasses. Anything's a cross-contamination. So it's
it's true, man, and it is challenging to constantly. And I think it's part of the battle is trying to remember, wrap as much as we can, yada yada.
Yes.
And then the cleaning afterwards. It does take some work, but until you do a test run with like some UV ink, which I did to test my, I was like, all right, I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to use the UV ink and stuff like that, because you can't really tell till afterwards. And then I lit it up and I realized all these little things that I was doing that I never noticed, until you realize that, holy crap, it's tough. It is tough. So you do the best you can.
That's it.
Obviously, you follow all the laws, and then you do even more if you can, and
that's it.
And sometimes
you follow all your laws. You follow all your laws, all your own common sense, and just do due diligence. That's all you can do.
Yeah, you definitely do the best you can. Do the absolute best you can. Well, we got Steven LeBlanc is up for what was that? What was that? Click on him. Okay. It's been a while, guys, so I'm gonna do the best I can here. All right. Steven says, I worked on this one all week, so I'm sending a few of the progress. Right on. I left a line around the dude so he wouldn't blend into the ship. Is it a good idea, or should I have just done it like it should be? The ship was made using AI art website. Thoughts? I'm cool with AI. Also, I have gone through a transition and changed my YouTube name. You're welcome. Thanks again for ripping my work. All right, man. Let's take a look, dude. Hey, fake skin is not the easiest thing to tattoo. And we're just looking at the first section of this. And we usually see little pieces done. It's kind of cool this time to see the whole sheet kind of filled out from the bottom, sides. I like this. I like the colors he used. I mean, it's got depth and contrast. Even got a little yellow glow going on over there. I dig this one. This so far, Andy.
Yeah, it's a nice concept, and it's. I don't know whether it's where it's got the angle that it's taking it at, and we'll probably see on the next one if he sends some more. But I like how at the minute it looks like we're lower than it, you know, looking up at it.
Yeah. Right. I guess this used to be Chanson. Changed his name.
Yeah, you've got
Very
thingy
cool.
as well. Just quick one, Kieran. Long time lurker, started practicing tattooing a year ago. Watched your videos. I'm 6 months into an apprenticeship now. Just want to say big thanks for the help and inspiration.
Oh man, that's so cool. Long time lurker. You gotta love the lurking, man. That's awesome. Started
Yeah,
practicing tattooing a year. I gotta read it for myself now. Watching videos. You're in an apprenticeship. That's awesome. That's awesome. So cool. So that's always the hope that you get an
yeah,
itch, you learn a little bit, and then it's on you after that. Go out there and seek further. But cool. Thanks for catching that, Andy.
yeah. On about long time lurkers. Got to be careful, boss ladies in chat.
I see her there. I popped a few things up. I see her over there lurking long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So here we go. We can kind of see what you got going on stencil wise and whatnot. Again, I love that you're filling the whole thing out. In this case, you've gone with a full piece here. The line looks all right from here. It looks pretty consistent. There are obviously some I think in human skin it might be maybe a little bit of depth issues here and there. Some lines are a little lighter or whatnot, but overall not bad. Fake skin's a son of a gun at times. And it doesn't look like you're drilling the heck out of it. I think you're going on the safer side. I would say the lighter side of things. And, I think that is safe. That's safe. We see where you have a few spots here and there, but overall, not too shabby. Aha, dude.
This is better.
I like this a lot, man. And again, what's great about it is when you're doing a piece like this, at least for me, Andy, when I know I'm going to be filling most of it up, and some people might not like this, but the lines aren't always perfect, because I'm just kind of getting it all in there. And then I know I'm going to like shade off of these or yada, yada. And so even after looking at the last piece to here, you don't see all the little things. They're all smoothed out with all this shading. Lovely,
Yeah.
man. I quite like it. I like the little gap he left around the guy. I think that was what he was asking.
Yep, it's a smart move.
I think so. It separates it a bit, and that could be left open to interpretation, like whether you like it or not. But I like it.
I think it works. I think it gives him like a little bit of a glow, and I think it works. And as you say, some tattoos do not, and some tattoos and some tattoo styles do not lend themselves to have a sharp, crisp line all the time. Some of them look better with a, shall we say, sketchier line, like they're done as a drawing, so they're not as harsh because of the style of the tattoo. And like I say, I mean, it's nice as this. Yeah. It's nice, and it works, and it looks well, and it reads well. And I do actually like the little glow separation. If I don't know, if the only thing I would have probably said on this, and if it was in real skin, there were probably two things. Is when the visor on the bloke.
Mm-hmm.
Is maybe try to have a little bit of a lighter tone of blue in there with it as well.
I was looking at that too.
Just to make it bring forward. And the other thing, and I know it's only a little SL ink, but just on your guy's chest, just across here, it looks like he's got like buttons, tabs. I think that might have been benefited if it was in real skin, and I know it's hard to put it in false skin. It's just if you do it in real skin, then just to make them pop out, maybe just like 5 little dots of white across, little tiny little bits of white, just to make them pop off chest. But that's the only thing. That's the only things really. I do like the shading in the ship.
Yeah, and I think that you have a real understanding for shades and values and whatnot, and I think you did a real nice job, man, especially on some fake skin. Definitely took some time to get that shading nice and smooth, and you're off to a fantastic start or wherever you're at. Super cool, man. I look forward to, I'm not saying you have to fill the whole thing, but if you end up finishing it, and really, it would be a cool one just to kind of have.
Yeah.
Man. Super cool. Let's see. I tried making the visor white, but it just wouldn't want to go. Yeah, white doesn't really work in fake skin. So I get it. You can't always get the highlights where you want them. the best thing you can do is kind of like how you left that border around the outside of the guy there. You know, that's going to be your white. Whatever's left super open is your white, right?
Yeah.
Especially in fake skin. Phew, it's coming down
Cool.
outside, dude. I can hear that rain like plummeting. But all right, cool. Off to a fantastic. Okay, and you was the ship was made AI. My thoughts on AI personally is I use them. I use AI in my tattoo designing. It's just great because there's only so many references, period. And it's nice to kind of get references. I did design a dinosaur, which I don't even think I've tattooed it yet, but it was a while ago, and many other designs, right? But it's an element of a tattoo, and it's nice to like just tell it what you want, and it doesn't work perfectly. It might take like 20 revisions till you kind of get something you like. And treat it, it's like anywhere else. We're pulling references from all over the place. I know it's controversial in the way that AI works. I don't really understand it, but I do use it. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. You don't need it. It's not a necessity, but it is a good tool. No different than all the tablets, light boards, everything we use, in my opinion, on that one. So next up, we got Michael. Hello, it's me, Mike. Here is the latest from Shakey's Tattoos. It looks good from 3 feet away. Hey man, hey, you know what? It does look cool from here. I like the colors and everything going on in it. I mean, it's a bit patchy in spots when it comes to saturating of color, but human skin is also a pain in the butt to saturate colors. So I'm not gonna say, oh, fake skin's hard. Don't worry, when you get to human skin, it's easy. It's not. It's still a pain in the butt and tedious, but it also gets a little patchy here and there. But overall, minus the blue from here, I think it's pretty cool. What do you think about from here, Andy?
Yeah,
I can zoom in a little bit.
I like the colours in the hat on your mask. Snake's belly. Just again, like you, Dave, the blue in the snake, the back of the snake. Yes, blue, fine, no problem. Would have been nice if, like you've done with the snake's belly, you've got a darker green going into a lighter, into a yellow. If you could have even used a tiny little bit of black, just whipped up off your lines, and then gone into a little bit of a darker blue, across into a lighter blue, which then would just give it a bit more curvature, like the underneath of your belly. Where I think where my biggest bugbear would sit would be the actual shape of the snake, because for some reason we've got the head square on as if you're looking at it side on, but I can see the belly underneath it, and how it comes round and goes around the back of the hand your mask, and you can see the belly, how fat it is. But then as it curves round the front of the mask, it goes really thin at the top. Well, it does there as well. But
I noticed it's thin here, thick here. Snakes are tricky. Dragons are a bit tricky. To be fair, sometimes when I'm monkeying with them, if I can't quite get it right, if possible, I'll put a little something there. You know what I mean? Like flower, or if there's other elements in the tattoo. I don't know if I'm just like cheating, but if I can't quite get it just the way I want it, I'll just hide a certain part, so then you don't even know. But obviously, because again, getting these snakes and dragons and stuff to curl just right, if you're not using a good reference and you're just drawing it on your own, it could be a little tricky. But again, I think saturation's all right. I definitely think it could be a little bit more saturated in some spots. A lot of the lines aren't too shabby, especially, you figure running early on to run these long swooping lines it's not super easy. So, I mean, a lot of these stay pretty smooth. So give yourself plenty of credit there. Again, this green, I'd love to see a little bit more saturated in there. But yeah, you know what? Not too bad. Minus again, Andy, I think you hit most of it. The snake. I think the mouth here. Oh, okay. I see. This is like, it's a little confusing there, but I see what's happening now.
Yeah, it's like side away, jawed open. That skin that it has.
Right, but it's colored almost the same as the inside of the mouth, so it kind of looks like this side of the mouth is missing. But little things like that.
Yeah, and when you look at the bottom of the jaw, it's got no gum. It's just got a black line, and the fangs just come off that black line. It'd have a little bit of a gum line. You'd usually have that black line and another one on inside, with it coming up. And And what I usually do if I'm drawing snakes, and I'll put my reference in, I'll put my handy mask in, same with that, with my handy mask, and if I'm on iPad, then I'll draw another layer over the top, and I'll draw the full snake.
Yeah.
Over everything. I'll draw the full snake, and then what I can do then is drop that layer behind the other one, and then just rub the sections out that aren't needed, and then it flows where it should flow.
Right.
Basically.
No, that's the best way to do it. But if you're not working on a tablet of some kind, it can be a little bit trickier. So I usually always tell people, if you're getting into this a bit serious, you know, you're in an apprenticeship or whatnot. I think personally, I know, Andy, you don't use Apple, but personally, if you were to ask me, I would say one of the first things you would want to get used to or purchase or use would be a tablet, would be, you know, personally Procreate and an Apple tablet. Unfortunately, Procreate's only used with Apple. Because that'll be a really good tool, almost as worthy as your own machine, you know, when it comes to designing stuff. But I like the design here, man. This is cool. Thanks for letting us take a look at it. Keep rocking it, man. Good work overall, man. Good work. Let's see. Oh, okay. We seen this one the other day. Let's see what we got. Robert. Hey. Oh, okay. That's right. He messaged. Hey, guys. Just wanted to share a 2-week update picture. Please let me know what you think and where it can improve. All right. So this is from Robert. Rob, we looked at this maybe on your channel, Andy.
Yeah.
And he gave it, we're looking at 2 weeks healed, right? So it's still in the healing process.
Because that's it. We're
wait, that might be fresh. This one might, there we go. Okay, so this was fresh. You still see the redding going on. And we discussed that in length there. And we can jump over here and see how it kind of healed out. Right on, right on. Definitely, you could always go back into this and add. See, I'm thinking is, let's take a look here. So you shaded it, but I don't think you adequately got to the right depth there when shading, or maybe you used a light tone. I'm not sure, but you kind of lose a lot of that in the healing here. Now it will brighten up a little bit more once it fully heals. Gonna kind of goes to that dulling phase, and then it'll brighten up or darken up a little bit more. But I don't know, Andy. I think they might have just gone a little too soft with their hand pressure potentially.
Yeah, or
lose a little.
got it in right, but again, they may have used a tone, because it shows if they're using a grey wash, it's so dark in the skin. It may be just slightly one tone too light, and it's healed too light. They might want to go one tone darker.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, somebody's crying in the chat over here. What are they saying? Art something. I let you critique my work and have received hate mail due to the fact that you're inconsiderate and dox my email. Might want to consider others when you openly show emails. Well, don't send your work in. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not bright enough nor smart enough to figure out how to open an email, go through the whole thing, and not let other people see your email address. So unfortunately, sometimes we learn, the hard way. It's a good note to let everybody else know that if you send your work in, just keep in mind people are going to see your email address, so if they have a problem, or even if they like your work and they want to reach out and tell you like, hey, can you help me out, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, that is part of the process. Other people will be able to see your email address if they're, creeping that hard, and it's the internet. So it happens. Yes, it does suck. Don't worry. I mean, me and Andy were just talking about it. I get hate all the time. I'm sorry that you got some, but unfortunately at the end of the day, there's really nothing I can do about it. But thanks for bringing that up, just in case anybody else is concerned about that sort of thing. Okay, back to work. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just figured I'd address that person since they were concerned. Okay, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to get over it there, Terrell. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Trying to be nice to you, but it is what it is, bud. Yeah, but the color seems to be holding pretty good, Andy.
Yeah, the black it looks like there's maybe just a little bit of furring on the some of the lines. It's right on borderline. But it's not all the way gone. It's just something to watch about, being put in, and it's right on the line. Is that? But I think, like you said, with the shading, it's either not got enough hand pressure, or he's either used, because it's going in dark, he's actually used one shade lighter than what I should have done.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's lightened up.
Oh, Rob says he's using dynamic color. Right on. Right on. It's not bad.
But it's like you say, I mean, you can put a toe drop in and put enough of it in, it'll look dark, but as it heals, it'll fade right out. Instead of if you use maybe a 6 or an 8 drop, and it may have been, you know, and it'll settle. Eventually, it'll settle in just that little bit darker. That's all right. That's what's probably happened there. I think myself.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah. No, I was not to go off on tangent, but I was also fell victim to this many a times in the beginning where I would use lighter tones because, you know, I was a bit nervous, and through the process, you know, it looks dark. It looked dark. And then when it healed, it was like, what the heck? That was like black. I thought I could take a tone and build it up to black. And it just wasn't the case. Luckily, I learned a lot of that on my legs, and, you know, it still continued further on. But yeah, just keep that in mind. You'll learn your tones, or you can just use, you know, we've talked about it here plenty of times. You can just use black and hand pressure and speed. And, you know, it takes a little bit of practice, but that can be a nice thing as well. But nonetheless, this is how you definitely learn there, Rob, and learn your tonage and whatnot. But right on, man. You could always go back into this. You know, I think you know this person well, and you could always add a little bit more shading in there and whatnot. So hopefully that helps you out. But thanks for sending that in, Rob. Appreciate it. Your email is shown to everybody. Gosh, I feel bad for you. I hope you're able to survive. Death X is next. All right. A few recent tattoos I've done, all done with the Incan Nota. I couldn't pronounce it when I reviewed it. I can't pronounce it now. Incan. All right, whatever. You did a video on. I did. The one was a freehand drawing over top of the mess that's on the other side. Color inks are industry inks. Carts are mainly FYT carts and T-Tech. The cone was a freehand drawing. Okay. All right. Let's see. The cone. Let's see. I'm just click. Okay, the cone. Okay, I see what you're saying. So this was this was something you had already had there, I'm guessing, and he did this to it. Is that, am I saying that correctly? Does that make sense? What is okay, all right, Terrell. Are you over it, bud? I don't know what you're asking for. You know what I mean? If you want to keep on, but like, dude, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, believe me, man, if you're worried about that, far worse things happen in life than that. If you can't take criticism, believe me, I take it all the time. And you listen to some, whatever, you know, move on, bud. All right, but I do really like the ice cream cone, man. It's pretty cool. I like the thicker line work you have in it, bit of color here. I think if you looked at this tattoo, just gave it a look, you know, not bad. I think whoever did this, maybe you did it first and then you fixed it. I don't know. Good fix for sure.
I want to say, I wouldn't have even put it that it was the same thing to me. And for everything, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have even said it with exactly, you know, at the same time. Good recovery. I'll be honest, good recovery.
Yeah, that's a fantastic recovery, man. Yeah, I would never even known had you not put that next to it. So lovely, man. It almost looks like, you know, those reels people do or whatever, where they draw like a smiley face and then all of a sudden, boom, it's like a portrait. Not to downgrade it, but I mean, it's obviously not on that level of portrait style, but it is super nice. Okay. Well, let's see what else we got here. Ooh, this is cool from here. You know, there's a lot of lines in that, which opens you up to, you know, potential for a lot of little errors. But I mean, from here, it looks pretty cool. Maybe a little bit more contrast in it would be cool, but hey, it is what it is. But let's get in there and take a look. Yeah.
Well, there's
some of these lines are a little rough now, Andy. That's a lot of lines, though. I mean, maybe it's intentional. No, I don't know.
Them lines aren't meant to be straight. And do you know something? He gets away with it, does this, because that's how it's supposed to look, you know, through horns and supposed to have this ribbed and thing effect. I think the only thing that's missing out of this for me is some separation. Could have done between the skull and, is it the devil's horns or whatever?
I think
Just
so.
could have done with a little bit more separation there. It just gets a little bit lost. But
yeah, I think when you gotta, if it has this many lines, it is daunting. I mean, I'll give you that. It's a lot of lines, but I really think you gotta take your time on every line. Maybe as you're going, you're looking at all this you have to do, getting overwhelmed, but take it one line at a time. Do the best you can. They're not all gonna be perfect. I wouldn't line all these perfect, to be honest. But that would be something I would try to do, is get them as good as you can. Maybe this is, I don't know, but it just kind of looks a bit sloppy to me. Same with the shading in here. If you're going to black out the eyes, black them out. There's definitely some openings in here. I don't know. Maybe you did this all with a liner around shader, probably. Even the black over here, it's not fully saturated up to line. Just those little things overall would make it a much more cohesive and cool looking tattoo. But as it sits, it just kind of has a little bit of a rough look. I do like the teeth. Those are cool. And a bit of this down here, but I feel like just a little bit more, maybe patience, right? I feel like maybe you rushed a little bit. And if we look at the dagger down here, luckily, again, it's like one of those beat up looking kind of swords, so you can get away with a little bit. But again, there we see that in there as well. But it is cool. So keep working at it. Keep working, as you said, like fake skins, looking good. Human skin, a bit harder. I don't know how far along you are either, to tell you, hey, do this, that, or the other. Super funny tattoo.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think you maybe have some struggle there with the shading, trying to get smooth shading. I don't know what you're using, but it's coming across a bit on the choppy side. I don't know what you think, Andy.
Yeah, it's could probably just do them with being a bit more packed. The blacks just got a couple of little open spaces in the black, that to the point that if it's going to be black, make sure it's black. But if you're going to leave some open spaces type thing, so that we can see them. I think it's supposed to be a bit of a Punisher type skull on the front of the t-shirt of character.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of areas that could do with a little bit of work, a couple of bits of line work, but it's it is what it is, isn't it?
I mean, it's a funny tattoo, and even if it doesn't heal great, I mean, I'm not trying to encourage, maybe work that needs help. Obviously, I'm not encouraging you to go continue to make errors, try to learn from them. But this would be one that I'd be like, even if it wasn't perfect, I'd be like, that's a cool tattoo. But so you can definitely see how fake skin is one beast, and it's good to get mechanics down on that fake skin, hand movements, that sort of thing. But it's another thing to go to human skin and expect a similar result. It takes time, So I'd say definitely keep working at it. It's definitely got plenty of room for improvement, but that's for everybody, Again, we critique, but we're kind of just looking at it, talking about it. You take it as it is. Again, keep in mind, everybody, your email is going to be shown. If you don't like that, there's really nothing I can do about it, because I don't know how to do it without it, but just be warned now, I guess. So anyhow, the two newest clovers on my wife's left arm along the side use a 5-round liner, 3-round liner, 7-round mag, bug pin, colorful one. The knot one used a 5-round liner. Okay, so we got a 5-round liner, a 3-round liner, 7-round mag, bug pin. Right on. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Jason's been working hard at it, and I like this one here in the middle, Andy. This is probably my favorite of the two.
Yeah, I'm going to say your middle one's probably the favorite one.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say is, if we roll down on that picture a bit, and that one, I think is shown that the other week.
Yeah, and you can see that since it's healed, you can really see when the lines are put in hard or not. It looked a little rough last time, but he adjusted fire, learned from it, and moved on. And you definitely can tell an improvement, especially here. These colors seem pretty nicely saturated, which I don't think's been an issue for him. I think some of the lining has been, probably the crutch. And these lines look a heck of a lot better, even the lines on the inside. So big improvement. Another thing too is, I don't know, I should probably click on it. There we go. These little swirly things, they could be a pain in the butt to keep the hand nice and smooth and carrying those around. So not too shabby there either. Looks like he even did some lining with potentially a color. So definitely a big improvement on this one.
That one is there. There's a big improvement. You can see a big improvement in the line work. It's not as harshly put in as the one below, and it seems, even looking at it from it seems to be in the right place and the right consistency. For a line of that weight in that part, and then again, like as use a smaller line weight on the inside, which works well, and the color saturation seems to be okay.
Yeah, and I applaud, again, like people putting themselves out here, not only their email addresses, but also their work, obviously. And that can be a painful thing to do, and to show us, hey, you know what, this healed with some flaws in it, but I appreciate you still sending it. We can look at it, learn from it, and you yourself as well. I don't know. Do you use it? Maybe used a different green here. Must be, this was a darker green of some kind.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe, I don't know. Did you line some of this with color? I wonder, because that, or the purple from the stencils coming through. But I will say Jason's not really had a whole lot of issues when it comes to color saturation.
No, it's mainly his line work and as this top one. Like I said, we looked at the middle one; it's pretty consistent. Yet the top one, there's line weight issues in this one, Jason, and shall we say consistency issues. And when I mean consistency issues, I look at, you've got 4 love hearts going around it, or knotted like knots that are like love hearts that are set out in a clover. But you look at the pink one, the top right hand side of the pink one, you see it goes out, it goes a lot wider to the others. These are all things that you've got to watch for as well. Now, this is where we go back to that if your stencil's not right, your tattoo's not going to be right, because that is basically your roadmap. Right. And sometimes, and I don't know whether I don't know whether Jason's still. I think he is. I think Jason's still stenciling by hand. I don't think he's down on either iPad or tablet or computer. I'm not sure. It may put in things. So if he's stenciling by hand, but this is just something you've got to watch for in your stencils. And I know when I was stenciling by hand and I was drawing up by hand for curves and that, I've drawn around bloody coins, cups, plates. I even went on Amazon, and you can buy yourself, I don't know if you've ever seen them, Dave. Have you seen that set of plastic, what they call French curves?
No idea.
And basically,
sorry, bud.
It's just a set of like 3 or 4 stencils of different size, and it's all just curves and circles and ovals and this, and you just set them up for yourself like that on your drawing and just draw around it. So easy, and they're so inexpensive. I bet a set of 4 or 5 French curves, and you must be able to do 50, 60, 70 different curves easy with it. There's no curve that you can't do. I bet it's less than $10.
Yeah, I would definitely. Again, it's tricky when you're getting into tattooing and you're trying to get better and whatnot, but investing in some sort of way to, and a lot of people hand stencil, but when you're dealing with stuff that's symmetrical and whatnot, if you make a wobble here and then you put it on the skin, now you're trying to follow an imperfect stencil. When you're dealing with symmetry, it's tricky. It's absolutely doable. People have been doing it for a long time, but with technology now. But again, that costs money to get certain things. But when it comes to iPads, I did a video on it a while back, just showing people that you don't have to buy the latest, greatest tablets and pencils. You can find older models that you can pick up for a pretty decent price, secondhand or refurbished or used or whatnot, that will run Procreate or other apps out there for non-Apple products. It's definitely great to get, because if you get that, you can get nice symmetry and then print that out and then run it through a stencil machine or whatever like that. That's something to think about if you're doing symmetry, because again, it's hard to go off of another person's drawing or whatnot. But let me see, did we send another one?
Yeah, I mean, like
but I will say though, I mean, that color saturation from is on point. So heck yeah, man. Try to do something non-symmetrical. Give yourself a little breathing room, you know? I mean, symmetry after symmetry after symmetry is it's tricky, man. It is tricky. So give yourself a little breathing room, maybe take on something a little less symmetrical, I would say. I don't know, Andy, but
that's it. Try doing something organic, because there's so much wiggle room in anything organic. So you've got plenty of scope and plenty of wiggle room in organic. But like I said, I mean, it's like the tablet that I use, Dave. I bought it second hand, and I've got an iPad Surface Pro. I've got a Microsoft Surface Pro 4.
Oh, you slipped up, Andy. Now we know.
I know. I've got a Microsoft Surface Pro 4, and the tablet, which is like a 12-inch tablet. It comes with a keyboard. It comes with a power supply. It comes with a pen, and everything for. I got it delivered to me for £175. So what's that, about $195?
True. You also can still pick up an iPad, a refurbished one, an older model, and a pencil. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I think you can get it under $200. I think I did the video where you get under 200. So you can't quite beat Andy's there. But then again, Procreate is a hard thing to beat. Just being fair and honest, in my opinion. But again, you be the judge, right? You be the judge. But Jason, I will say, Jason said, got a lot of work to do, man. We all do. You don't see the improvements as much. Maybe you do, but we see the improvement, right? And that's the thing, when you get to know a person, we get to know your work, so we know like, oh, that's improved, that hasn't, yada, yada. And the improvements are there. And believe me, man, they come small. You got to take the victories, look at the downside of it and go, I need to fix that. I need to work on that. But you know what? I did a couple things good here. I improved on this. And that's pretty much the process. So don't beat yourself up, man. Product was there. You had improvement. We could see the I think it was a couple weeks ago, piece down at the bottom and how much it has improved. So keep at it, man.
Hey, Andy, that torch isn't bad, and the Ambition battery is good. Battery lasts a while. Well, I'll tell you what, with the battery, Joey, you'll start, because there must be something like a zero cycle battery, and as you go along, and that with it, and you get some cycles through it, and you condition the battery, the actual life of it will extend. You will get more out of it. I mean, I can get running between 7.5 volts now. I get 7, 8, 9 hours. Batteries.
Do they last a long time? My only complaint, and most people probably wouldn't even have an issue with it, but because I use two machines, I'll set that machine down and I'll be using my shading, blah, blah, blah. And I'll switch out mags and that. And then I'll grab like my other machine to do some lining here and there. And the battery will shut off on you. And like, it feels like just a minute or two. It doesn't stay on. And we turn it back on. It comes right back on to 8 volts. It doesn't come back on to whatever voltage you left it at. And it's really minuscule when you consider what you're paying for. But I did notice that the other day. I'd always have to, every time I'd reach for it, I'd turn it back on, and then it would start right off at 8 volts, and I have to drop it back down to my usual voltage. But I guess if that's the worst of it, I can live.
Yeah, I mean, you can put it in pause mode.
Yeah, but I mean, if you pause it and set it down, it'll turn itself off. And
that's what I'm going to say to you. After a while, it still turns itself off.
Yeah, and the other one does the same thing. I think it just takes about 5 minutes, I think, for the other one, where that one I think shuts off in just a minute or two. I could be wrong. Right. I have no idea. Let's see. Jason says, I'm looking into iPad and Procreate, also thermal printer. It's going to help me out tremendously when it comes to my line hand drawings. Dude,
Yes.
you, without a doubt, are going to see a huge change in your work. I promise, man. I really do. You're going to realize it's money up front, right? There's an investment. But if you get smart about it, you look up the right stuff. Again, man, if you haven't seen it, you can check out. I'm sure there's plenty of other videos with more information too, but I do have a video on the channel talking about strictly iPads and whatnot, which takes what pencil and which ones will you blah, blah, blah. So check that out. Check out other people's videos. But yeah, do your right research. You can get into it at a decent price. Okay. Anonymous. A few more. The lion was done with the new Ambition machine with a 9-round liner Ambition cart. Not pleased on the look. Okay, so a few more. So I guess we'll start with this one here. Well, I will say the line going down the center here of this cross is pretty decent. I mean, we get a little wobble up here, but yeah, that's not too shabby right there. I like the crosses at the bottom. Not too bad. Saturation is pretty good. Almost up to the line in most places. But I will say there's some issues here with the hand. That thumb kind of looks like, it's just coming right off the hand. Hands are tricky. I'll let Andy talk more about the hand. Andy's a hands guy. He talks about the hands on everyone. I don't want to. And don't take it the wrong way, Anonymous, man. We're just going to point out a few things that we see and try to help you out, man.
Yes. The cross is a silhouette. The silhouette work at the bottom, it for me is about the best part. I mean, it's got that soft, but it's also got like a soft, fuzzy feel to it. As if there's a bit of a fog in front of it.
Right.
That looks okay. Again, with you, Dave. Yeah, there's issues with the lion, and I'm assuming it's Jesus. So if you can zoom out a little bit, Dave.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, but I didn't mean to throw you in there.
Yeah. You can see it like right around the thorned crown. The reference hasn't been good there because there's not enough, shall we say, branches that have been wrapped around with thorns coming off, and there should be dark in there. And you would see there wouldn't be that fat. You look at a thorn crown, it's thinner branches wrapped and twisted. That be like that. There's basically, I think you're bitten off a bit more than you can chew for where your skill level is at the minute, because the lion, the fur in the lion, it's just a series of lines, and then some things I hate doing fur. I mean, it's one of the hardest things in the world to do.
Bro, I hate doing fur too, man. There's some people that just kill it, man.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not really using a line. It's side of your mag, using side of your mag, and your mag will be slightly twisted to give you a fatter line, but softer, and just draping it off, and that. But yeah, out of these two, and out of the lion and the Jesus looks better than the lion in my opinion. I can see where you've tried to get a bit of texture in the beard. Again, it's a bit stark, but I mean, for me, do you know the most redeeming? I'm going to say this now. Do you know what the most redeeming part of this is, Dave?
What's that?
Do you know on the Jesus?
Yeah,
it's probably the hands.
Okay.
Because I've seen so far worse hands sent in than these. And
yeah, we definitely have. That's for sure. Andy, I think it's just a lack of shading and I mean, okay, so we need solid black somewhere in this because it's too airy, right? It needs some solid areas of black would have helped big time. Had we straight put a lot more dark over here towards the back, really embrace these darker parts on top of it. Blacked out parts of the nostrils here. Obviously the fur needs a little work, but it needs some shading, right? It needs some, you got a little bit here, but there's really not a whole lot of depth to it, you know. And we look at this eyeball as well. I don't know. That's like a crazy looking eye. I mean, it's shaped properly, I think, but it just kind of looks a little wild at times. Where you're leaning pretty hard on lines to give structure to maybe a semi-realistic thing, I just feel like maybe it needs some depth. It needs some proper range of values. Yeah, I mean, there are
Yeah,
definitely some decent things, but
I think again is just dial it back. Whereas you're working on a lot of things here, you're working on Jesus' face, you're trying to work on a line, and I understand about the composition, but
yeah,
just work on one thing. Maybe work on a smaller lion's head and try get your fur down, and then maybe work on a Jesus, then combine them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, again, you are trying to take on a lot here. Maybe just take on certain pieces. Maybe just do a set of hands, you know. Like Andy said, then do the face, then do a lion, and you know, don't try to overwhelm yourself with texture of fur and smooth shading in a face and hands, and like you took on a lot, straight lines and a cross. I mean, that's a lot to kind of dive into. I mean, I give you props for attempting it and getting to this point, but it's all about doing something, learning from it, going back, doing something, learning from it, taking a step forward, going back, taking a step forward. You know what I mean? So
doing too much at once becomes overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, in this game, you've got to work your way in it. Whether you're getting your lines in, then you're working on a bit of packing solid blacks and colours, then you're working on shading, then different styles of shading, then you're bringing them all together, and then you're composing and putting everything. Sometimes, and I know it can be boring, and I know we've said it, we all want to make pretty pictures and we just want to crack on, but it is quite it's quite sort of like a set out way of doing it. And to be fair, it's been done that way for years and years and years and years and years, you know, in this industry.
Yeah.
That's the way that you work it in. And just unfortunately, that's how you've got to do it. Now, I'd say compositionally wise, this one's far better than the other ones, composition wise.
Yeah, there's a bit more value here. Like the depth is, you know, it's an improvement in my opinion, right? There's less going on. There's a good, you know, decent amount of darkness. I think those darks could be saturated a little more. Fake skin's a son of a gun, right? So we get that, but a bit more of this black, you know, punched in all the way up, you know, but it has a bit more values, right? There's a bit more of like definition, and it's minimalist when it comes to it, but it works a little bit, you know?
Yeah, but it's like you say, if you look at this one, where it's got a bit more realistic down the other one, this is a bit more illustrative. And the illustrative side is lending its end to his learning skills at the minute.
There you go.
Realism is always something that's going to come along further on down the line when you've got comfy with everything. Illustrative in the middle. I mean, I look at this, and now what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the teeth on this tiger, nice and sharp, nice and bold, nice and sharp, got that V underneath. Them two eyes, they work for illustrative, you know, on this. I'm looking, you know, the band over the crown, this section of the band over the crown, it looks as it should be with a couple of lines in it. Then it's got that little dark, like you said there, black dark drop shadow underneath it. But because it's gone down a more illustrative route on this, you look at the fur that it's put in with the bold liners and the black, it works so much better than, you know, the other piece that is done.
Yes.
And that's just because as well of the style that is picked and the style it's broached. Where for me, where it could have gone a little bit better is, as we look at it on the right hand side of the nose, you know, where the whiskers come out, that could have just been jet black whipped out to grey.
Right.
And then just round this, between this lip and the bottom beard, could have done was just in some little places just a bit more black and whipped out. But this is a far cry away, and it's just down to the actual style that is picked.
Yeah, I think it was definitely lends yourself a little bit of leeway, you know, take away that feel of like trying to do it in this like semi-realism and have fun with a bit of a, you know, more animated. I think Joey said to him it was a bit neo-tradish, which is pretty cool too. Yeah, I definitely think this is an improvement. It's pretty cool too. It's dynamic, fun to look at. Definitely room for improvement as far as like punching in those blacks a little bit more. It will definitely add a little bit more to it. Always trying to think about what could be pushed forward by darkening stuff backwards. But you're on it, man. Keep at it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's only a way forward.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said before, if you don't make mistakes, how do you learn?
I make mistakes every day. Every tattoo I do, I see about, to be kind, at least like 5 or 6, and they drive me nuts. But I try to learn from them. But man, every piece you're like, oh my gosh, this, that, and the other, man.
Yeah, Mike Paris, the thing I hate worse is lining. Everybody hates lining. Because that's, if anything's going to show up anywhere, it's in your lining. It's quite simple. You know, in a tattoo, if anything's going to show up anywhere, it'll be in your lining. So we all hate lining. And then there's specific types of lining circles, drawing circles, parallel lines.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's why we kind of talk about it a lot as fundamental. It's definitely something you want to take the time now to get comfortable with, you know, even if it's fake skin, just getting comfortable moving your hand into motion and whatnot and seeing thickness of lines, right? You're not going to get depth per se perfect on fake skin. You're not going to get stretching perfect on fake skin. But you can work through some of those mechanical things, you know, hand movements and what have you. And you just want to do the best you can on fake skin because going to human skin from fake skin is a big difference. You know, there's some things that work out good. There's some things that don't. But Josh says, hey, man, how's everything going? Just got back from the baby shower. Got to catch you live, but check out my newest work. Let me know. Let me tell you, white isn't the easiest, or is it just fake? It's fake skin, man. Just throw white out the window when it comes to fake skin, huh, Andy?
Yeah. You'll catch this one, Dave. I'm just going to go to
man.
Nip to the toilet, use bathroom.
Oh, excuse me. Smoke says, I love lining. Just putting that out there. Right on, man. Right on. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or legit. Okay, well, I don't know about this one. I mean, let's take a look at it. You have a lot of black being put into the fake skin, and this is tedious because it is pretty decently saturated. I think the photo kind of makes it look a little off, but it could get all the way up. I see you lined like this inside line here a bit lightly with a smaller needle grouping to give yourself a place to pack black up to. I would encourage you just to do your best to really get that mag right up to that line. It'll help you out. When it comes to the actual lining, it looks like you're using, I don't know, a larger needle. And for the most part, it's pretty decent. But I see up here where it got away from you a little bit. Maybe you tried to kind of hide that by making it look like it's a little bit more of a thing. In these open areas here, I'm not sure what happened there. But if you're going to leave it open, because if you put a little shading back here, it gets a little messy. But yeah, that's about it on that one. Let's take a look here. Okay, from here, it looks pretty good. Not too shabby. But you get up in here. I like that you're using larger needle groupings, personally. It's a little bit easier in the beginning to use a larger needle grouping. The smaller needle groupings show a lot more of the wobble and all that. But these bigger liners or round shaders. I'm a fan of lining with round shaders where I'm looking for a thicker line, just personally. So I like that you're doing that. And, it can keep working at it. It looks like you're using a good fake skin, which is nice to see. This looks like the brand Real Skin, which is decent. Pound of Flesh is probably the best, but it's a bit more pricey. But the lining is still a little inconsistent. I would encourage you to really, this fake skin can bounce a lot. It can wobble around. It can shake, stretch it out. Plus, it's going to get you more comfortable in that realm. I do like the little bit of stipple shading you have in here. It's put in smartly, kind of simply, but it works. Over here, I would just be careful to stay inside the lines. Obviously, over here, we got a little wild, but I think we're just having consistency issues. The needles aren't quite saturating properly. We're getting a lot of bounce. I don't know if that's you moving your hand too fast, maybe your voltage is a little too slow, could be a combination, but I'll definitely look into that because we're getting a bit of light areas here and there with a lot of these lines, which is causing me to have to go back over them again, which, you know, is noticeable. So I would definitely keep working at the lines. A little bit of stipple and stuff we have going on here. That's cool. But I've definitely continue working on the lines because they still need a ways to go. Yeah, this one, you know, this is just straight rough, man. But luckily, it's on fake skin, so that's great. But yeah, if this was the first one, it makes sense. I don't even know what's going on with all the black back here. You know, the line work is what it is, right? We're not going to beat you up on that one because I think you know. This one, however, there's some potential here, but definitely give it more time. Continue to work on that fake skin. This, I don't quite understand. Maybe, you know, you took the time to saturate the black. Good on you. But I think where you're at right now is I would continue to work on pieces similar to this, maybe even smaller and with less going on. That way you can do multiples of them. Do a little piece, yay big, whatever. Boom, knock it out, see what you need to do, stencil it again, do the same one again until you start to see a good one come to life, because then you're really seeing improvement right in front of your eyes. Then kind of start maybe doing larger pieces and whatnot. But I think you're early on, condense yourself to something smaller. Overall, I think it's going to help you tremendously. But Josh, thanks for having the cojones to send your work in and let us talk about it, man. Next up is Bradley. Much happier with the last practice session. I took your advice and slowed it back down. Thanks, Dave. All right, man. Remember Bradley? He's been doing like some thick line work stuff. The first piece he sent us in since he got back into it was pretty nice. Then he had a couple of flops there and he knew, but I'm glad to hear he's feeling better about this one. He slowed down. I think this was from last time. I think we're talking about this claw up here. Yeah, huge improvement, man. We're definitely seeing far more consistent lines. It's a cool tattoo, by the way, as well. Yes, I like this tattoo. Digging the line weight, totally consistent throughout. You know, I think got a little issue here with the teeth, but again, if you were to pack color in there, you can smooth that out a little bit. But yeah, Bradley, huge improvement, man. Looking good, man. I don't think he's here tonight. I think he's out, but he said he sent some work in. And to the last person we just looked at, I think it's along these lines, you know. Bradley doesn't do a whole lot of pack and color shading at this point. He's really said from the beginning, I want to get my lines down using a larger needle grouping, get comfortable with that, and then adjust fire. And I think he's been doing that, and he's been showing us the improvement week to week. And this is a testament to, you know, not getting too ahead of yourself, you know, keeping it slow, keeping it steady, work on those line pieces, keep them relatively small. I don't see this being much more than about yay big. Yeah, right on, man. Yep, everyone says nice, solid line work. Yes. Thanks for sending that in, Bradley. Awesome to see improvement, man. Hey, guys, we only got 3 more emails. We are smashing it tonight. So if you do have any work in, there's still time if you want to send it in. If not, we'll finish this up and we'll just BS for a little while, as usual, which is my favorite thing to do. It's just not super entertaining for everybody, which I totally understand, guys. So I'm going to click on this one, Andy. I'll read it, and I'll let you take a look at it. I'm going to use the restroom.
Payback.
Tatiana says, hi, Dave and Andy. I am self-taught tattooer looking to improve my line work. I've been tattooing on skin for about 6 months. Thank you for providing so many people with the chance to learn and grow. Absolutely, Tatiana. We're just trying to help. Well, you know, you're going to stop people from tattooing because this equipment's available to everybody. So we're merely trying to, you know, just guide somebody along, I guess you could say. But which one do you want to start with, Andy?
Just start with, is it chainsaw at bottom?
Chainsaw.
But anybody can buy the equipment now. So it's just trying to guide you to use it correctly and what you should be looking for when you're using it correctly, basically. So as we can see, you want some guide work to your line work, Tatiana. I mean, unfortunately, I can't grab hold of Dave's mouse and move it about. What we'll do is we'll start with just in the middle of your chainsaw. You've got like these, they look like teeth in the middle of the chainsaw. And before I get onto your line work, you can see, make sure your lines start and stop where they should do. You can see where you've fallen short. And some of these lines are looking a little bit, what I would say, light. And for when I say light, they're not in properly in areas, but in other areas, you've gone a little bit too deep. And I can see a few blowouts. So maybe it's a case of that you're probably running your machine maybe at the correct voltage, but you're just having problems with your hand speed. Sometimes you're going along and then instead of trying to keep it consistent, you end up getting a bit excited or whatever and finishing it off a bit too quick. Same again in some areas where I can see a blowout, maybe you're running it correct, but you're starting off and you're a little bit hesitant, you're a little bit slow, or your hand pressure is a little bit too heavy to start, where you're in and then you think, oh, I need to just ease off, which that could be nerves. And the other thing I would say to you as well, because these look like you're using a small liner group, which I would say try stick to 7s and 9s to start with, because and as we can see, smaller lines like this aren't forgiving. And in the back of the chainsaw where you've got the little circles and dials and everything, I don't know whether that's stencil, but I'm looking at it from here and it looks blown out. It looks to have that black haze, under the lines. But then again, the lines don't look blown out, if you understand what I mean, Dave. They don't look, super hard drilled.
No. It's just...
but it's just got that, so that could be a bit of a stencil. But I think you're having a little bit of confidence issues, along with, I think, more hand technique and hand speed on this. I think the voltage is probably correct, but the hand speed and the hand techniques in areas looks like you're going a bit too slow and a bit too heavy with the hand. And then it's like, oh yeah, pick it up. I need to be there and go all along. And then when you've done it, it's like, oh, I need to get to end. Whoop, and off it goes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue with this one.
I wonder, I don't know if you touched on it though. I don't know. I look at it and I wonder, was there a stencil? If so, did that stencil disappear quickly, because I would wonder if you've really followed those lines, I couldn't see the stencil looking like this, you know what I mean? I don't know.
No.
But you're right. You said the good thing here is we didn't destroy the skin by blowing everything out, I see a little bit of a purple stencil back there. So here we got this one. I just think that we need a little bit more time with lining, right? I'm assuming, I don't know, I would hope these are on yourself, but it might be wise to maybe use some practice skin a little bit. And I know it's not like human skin, blah, 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 we've been through a million times, but I think some fundamentals need a little work here. Unless you're just working on some fake skin and then dabbling on your own a little bit, get the feel for it, realize what it's like, jump back some fake skin. Everyone's different. I know there's people, my mentor, if you want to call it that, at the time was hey, fake skin. If you got open skin on your body, that's what we're using. You ain't dabbling with the fake skin. But they also gave me no education whatsoever. So, I dabbled on myself for a while, little fake skin. But I see the, the upside of using some fake skin, because you can definitely work out some of the fundamentals here. Because there's just a lot of lines aren't connecting. A lot of them are a bit on the scratchy side. We got some blowouts down here. This isn't really legible. Maybe it's something I'm not understanding. It's maybe something of a cape, some legs, but I don't know. I'm not over the moon about it. And I think that you probably need a little bit more work. I wouldn't continue at it until you got a little bit more practice behind you.
Yeah, I mean, that way you just had your cursor, you'd add for your cursor, and that bottom of that is it leg or whatever it is. That's where it transitions. It's badly blown out there. But
yeah,
again,
definitely
this
needs.
is a lot of this is technique, down to technique, you know, and in skin, too far in, too far out at skin. Do you understand what I mean? Because
Yeah,
you're too far in, you're blown out. You're too far out, it's too light. There's no consistency for the hand watching. And like I said on my channel, Lee's, your eyes, you should be watching for that consistency of line and color of line and the same thickness of line that you're using all the way along. And I would imagine some of these blowouts have appeared straight away as well. So it's like, oh, it shouldn't be like that. So again, to coin Dave's phrase, you may want to try using some fake skin.
Yep, definitely. There's times for it, you know. I mean, you jump onto your own skin, you see what's going on, you're like, yeah, maybe I ought to go find something else, you know. It's like you just work stuff out. Fake skin is good for working stuff out. And if it ain't working out, you might want to, you know, look into it. And
especially
this is one of those times. Because even this one, there's no blowouts, but you're not doing yourself any favors here, you know. It's just unfortunately a bit on the rough side, you know, trying to be nice. I would definitely, if you were an apprentice of mine, which I have none, and that's fine, but I would absolutely be like, no, it's not happening. Save yourself. You can always go back and, you know, work human skin later, but get some work under your belt on some fake skin. Yeah, good fake skin. You get like real skin, pound of flesh. It costs money, but it's better in the long run. Yeah, good idea, Andy. Let's throw that out there. Give the stream a like. Hey, look at this. Joey says, you guys want to see my first ever tattoos? They're so bad. Joey, please do that. I did a video a while back showing some of my first ones. And they were rough. And there's some before that too. But yeah, Joey, send them in. Because Joey does some good work now. It's always great when we can see, you know, where people come from. It's encouraging, I think, when you're in these spots and you're working hard and you're trying to figure it out and you think, I'll never get there. But you will. If you have a little bit of artistic ability and you develop that, you cultivate that along the way, and you start to learn this skill, this thing, tattooing, and you do it properly, you'll get there. Perry says, hey guys, any chance you can have a look at this and give me some pointers? My first go at using the CNC Q2, and I love it. Thanks, Perry. Glad you're liking the machine, man. All right. Ooh, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, like, without even diving into it, just looking at it.
Without diving. Zoom back out. Can you zoom back out, Dave?
Yeah.
I mean,
look at the texture on that thing. That's pretty cool.
I mean, look, other than a couple of little things, artistic things, from here, I can read it. And there's enough open space. There's just a couple of little, but that'll be just basically artistic preferences that I would say from here on in. But that's before we dive, you know, in and get in on top of it.
Yeah.
And start having a look.
Yeah, we can do that.
What I'd say is the snake flows pretty well, for starters.
Yeah. Definitely. I from here, man, I really like the skull. There's a lot of lines going on, very like lighter on the way in the way of shading, but I do really like the skull, even if it's just stylized. You know, I like the skull. The black lines throughout kind of give it this sort of textury look. He put black in nice spots, nice little shadow down here, depth back here in the little crevice here, and it's all subject. I mean, you can from here you can go either way. You want to put more shadows, you can, but I'd like the shading in it. It works for the piece, in my opinion. Just one guy. The lining in the snake here, for the most part, is pretty good. You know,
yeah.
It works. It works. Even got a little bit lighter down here. Again, I'm not sure. You know, sometimes Andy, were these meant to be? Some of these a little weird and curvy. Did you lose a little bit of stencil? Either way, and this part maybe adds a little bit more character to it. I don't know. The head looks cool. I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? I like it.
I wouldn't, because it's not a bad attempt at scales at all, and doing that many scales. And I think what he's trying to do is try to get the flow of the scales with the body as if it's twisting.
Yeah.
Which I'll give him brownie points for that, because a lot of people would have just gone, just put the scales over and forgot about the actual body twisting, so that the scales would actually twist with it. So I would actually give him, brownie points for that. Me personally, there have just been a couple of little areas where I'd just like to have seen some black whip out shading. Just to separate a couple of areas a little bit further. But I really like the sword. I like the blade on the sword. For some weird reason, I'm just drawn to that blade on that sword. I just like it.
Right.
I like how it's done. I like the eye sockets on the skull. And again, like you say, I think it's very stylized. And I like this. I know the eye's a little bit lost in the snake's head, but I just like how the snake flows and it comes around and through it for some reason. And yeah, I think he's done really well with it.
Yeah, I do too. I like it. I like it. Sometimes I don't know what to say. I like it. Oh, looks like we sent a few. Oh, Joey sent some of the early work in. Good pressure on him, guys. Good. Torrance Reed. I swear, Joey, if we look at that and it looks good, you're out of here, man. Better be bad enough to be considered your first.
Yeah.
Added a year tattooing more consistently lately. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good, not too bad. I like the different line weights. We got some thicker lines in here, a little thinner on the inside. All this little texture here in this fur, I'm assuming. I haven't looked at the next photo, the next one over.
I'm just gonna you beat me to that. All that little texture lines, they're all individually put in. I mean, that's like I said, just for me, I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's either probably going to be a rabbit or something,
Yeah.
And that, but all them little texture lines, they look quite good for me.
Yeah, they do, Andy. I agree. I mean, they put them in, and then they even went to little dots to give smaller fur bits. Nice texture in there. It takes time. Did a nice job. Took your time with it. I happen to like this white bold kind of border you put around all these, kind of break things up, give it some nice contrast. Super cool. You're up around the elbow, so I know like lining up through here is pretty tricky, but so I think you did a pretty nice job considering all that. Actually, I wonder if this is a heart. Is it going to be a heart? It is a heart. I think it's a heart. I'm confused now.
What did I say? A rabbit?
The only reason I'm saying heart is because I think these are like the little, pieces of the heart thing. But yeah, no less. I mean, I guess this could be taken as like a rabbit leg there. Kind of see that. But look, we might not know exactly. It would be easier if they sent us one more kind of all the way turned, but fair enough. I again stick to what I said before is I really like the bold lining and the use of line weights works good. You don't necessarily have to have per se shading in the way that we think of it. Yeah, it's a nice contrast as well. So
it is.
Yeah, and it's ventricles. Thank you, Jason. Ventricles.
It's a nice use, and it shows a good use of all the line weights with solid black and texture, and still pulling off what you need to pull off. Is there a couple of spots on it? Yes, there is. Is there a couple of spots on most people's? Yes, there are. But yeah, I like the use of texture. I like the bold outlines, the solid black, a little bit of white, for the contrast.
Yeah.
The general flow of the leaves and everything. And he's got it. He's using a boulder on the outside, finer liner on the inside. And the lines in the leaves seem to be all smooth, nice, confident coming into the center. Definitely figured it out.
Definitely
got it together.
They did. Thanks, good. Torrance. Thanks for signing in. Let's take a look at it. Baka. All right. Remember, guys, luckily tonight we're doing all right, but try to keep it to just a few, about 3, if possible. Been into anime since the 90s and enjoy how people are more into it now these days. Of course, back then we called it Japanation, Japan, Japanimation. Wow, Dave, come on. Here's some practice pieces I've done, and I've recently tattooed myself on thigh, but I got to go back in, straighten lines, and do some more shading after it heals. All right, we'll kind of run through these. Hey, looks pretty sharp, in my opinion. Again, with the line weight stuff, love the thick line around the outside, that light shading on the inside, a little darker on the pants. I think it's a banger little piece right here. It's kind of cool, man.
And again, this just shows you how sometimes less is more.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, certainly. Again, those lines are nice and smooth. Decent saturation up in the black, using different line weights. Right on. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Again, the lines are looking pretty decent in fake skin, you know. The shading is probably where it needs to be. It's a little odd. I don't know the characters and the style, how it's shaded. What do you think, Andy?
I don't know the style. I just, as a tattoo point, I just look at it and it looks like they put some try to put some stipple shading in, but could have done with having darker areas just in the hair. But just going on the line work, I pretty much agree. They look pretty smooth. A couple of little places here and there, but for all intents and purposes, the majority of them are there. The majority of them are in.
Yep, I agree.
And looking confident, you know, while he's pulling. The lines look like he's pretty confident while he's pulling them, and pretty smooth. But
right on. Well, Jason knows all about the anime. He's letting us know what's going on over here. It's all Spanish to me or another language. I don't know it. I think my kid knows a bit about it. It's popular. A lot of people like anime. Like he said, nowadays people are super big in anime. And yeah, I think Jason was looking to do some anime tattoos. Might be a smart move, man. A lot of people like it. Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got a lot more depth and field of view here on this one. Yeah, I think this is cool. Again, we have nice line work in the fake skin, varying line weights, nice solid black under the chin, nice black over here. And then, you know, the shading seems to be working. There's getting a little bit more values out of your shading. And I think if you continue at it, you're going to find even more value and get used to how that works. This is it's pretty good. I like it. I'll zoom in a little bit so other people can see it. If you're watching, because I know on my end, on the end, I'm looking at a computer screen. So when it's displayed, I always forget it's a little bit smaller for other people to see. But yeah, I think you're going to have a good future if you keep at it like this because it's looking good. All right, here we go. Again, nice. This might be been even one of your earlier ones because it seems like there's even a little bit less here. Sticking to that solid black, maybe a few lines to give some more shading points. It's pretty cool though. It's not bad. It looks, it looks like the reference.
Pretty true to his reference as well.
Yep, got to give credit there for sure.
Yeah, got to give credit there.
So this is the piece, a lot of the fake skin work, and then a piece on your leg here. It's pretty large. I would encourage people, you know, if you're going to maybe go a bit smaller, right? Because you take up a lot of real estate. We'll get in here and take a look. You know, considering we've seen a lot of people go from fake skin, and then when they get to human skin, it's sometimes it's pretty rough. This isn't too bad considering it's, you know, your first jump over to human skin. Like if we look at the stem line here, this is not too shabby. You lose some of these details here. I'm not really sure. Luckily, we know it's a feather or whatnot. And yeah, a little bit more shading, a little more depth, maybe a few more little lines to give a bit more shape and whatnot, a little more volume to the said feather. The point, if you can get in there, maybe give it a little bit more of a point. Maybe it's meant to be curved. I don't know. Most of them have a bit more of a point when I see them. But yeah, I think where you're at when this heals, you learn a thing from it. You go back into it, work it a little bit more, learn a little bit more. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, side up mag, really, when you're in a feather, especially this side, curved mag's going to be your best friend. Get it on its side, 45 degrees, you know, start whipping out just to get that gentle, you know, like strands of feather coming out. It just looks a bit harsh at the minute, but then again, you can go back in with mag and get this done. what I would say, if you just zoom out a little bit as well,
Sure.
and I know it's a quill, I'd just aim to, if you can, and adjust it. Just make the tip of the quill a little bit more prominent. But yeah, ideally you just need to go in, and you're going to need some more black in this feather. You know, just side up mag, just bring it out sideways, you know, just to give it that darkness and soft, not regimented feel to it. But definitely, you can fix it, definitely fixable. But you can also see the difference going from fake skin to human skin and the different problems it's posing you, and all the other different things.
But I would imagine the work you put in on the fake skin helped get you to this point, because there are some good things here, and this is 100% workable. Again, you know, it's on you. Just that last bit of encouragement, man. If you do it some more, maybe small them up a little bit more, make them a bit smaller, but it's your body, you know what I mean? You do you. But hey, really digging what you got going on here, animation wise.
Animation stuff.
Yeah, Baka, it's looking good, man. That
cool.
You know what you're doing there with the fake skin. Just takes a little time to make that transition, but you'll get it. Hi, I'm tattooing 6 months. I'm good enough to try make tattoo on human skin. Yeah, just like we looked at Baka's work there. I mean, you're going to do the best you can on fake skin. And these look good from the little thumbnails I see, so that's really good. Don't be discouraged when you go to human skin, and it's it's obviously a different beast. And same thing we said before, try to keep it small, but let's go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is cool. Line work's nice and solid. The stipple shading, in my opinion, is cool. It's got varying shades in it, depth. Yeah.
Line work's nice on this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely nice line work on this.
Yeah, I don't know the characters, but I do like how the eyes, because it's cartoon, go over top of the hair and stuff. It's just kind of fun to look at. But again, I know nothing about anime, so right on. Hey, looking good though. Looking good. Here we go. I like his simple shading. He's understanding the different values and getting those in there and able to, shade with them and make it look smooth and clean. And the line work is looking fantastic. So definitely cool. The black is nice and saturated. Yeah, right on. Here we go. We got another one. This might have been an earlier on one because the lining on the other ones, I mean, the lining is relatively clean on all of these, to be fair. And again, I like your values you have going on here. And personally, I would punch a little bit of black here and there, but, that's subjective to how you like to tattoo. But I think on skin, a bit of black, maybe in some of these spots, would just help it be a little bit more contrasty, if you will.
Yeah, it may help it age better as well. That's the other thing you got to realize. Longevity of these things when you put them on. But yeah, I mean, for following stencil and line work and everything, it's pretty damn good. I'll be honest.
Yeah, man. Fake skin's a beast sometimes, and the past couple people here with these anime. Man,
I mean, it's 6 months in. He's in a good place for 6 months in.
Yeah, and he's 6 months in and is not, made this huge jump to skin and rushing the game. Really enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, learning. And as we know, human skin, you cross that hurdle. It's all right. Joey has sent us his very first pieces he did. So appreciate that, Joey, letting us take a look. And these better be crap, man. You're saying they were crap because my first pieces were crap. And from these little thumbnails, they look better than my first mini tattoos. My first ever tattoos done on my brother. I've never shown these before, so please be gentle. Yeah. Thanks for sending them in, Joey. Let's take a look, man. Man, that is pretty good for your first tattoos, man. That is not bad. I'm not happy here, Joey. These are supposed to be utter garbage. I do see some flaws, obviously. They're there, but that's pretty good for your first pieces.
I'm going to say pretty good for first piece. I mean,
That was this was the third. I'm sorry, Andy. We got to get to maybe this was the first. Yeah, but he really gave him Joey. You really gave yourself a hard first tattoo, bud. All these lines, Roman numerals, circles. Dang, had some. Yeah, okay, all right. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, you really set yourself up badly there, Joey, didn't you? I mean, it's but then again, you see, what I would say with this one, Big Ben, you can get away with it as it is with just some more shading. But the only thing that is, and I'm guessing the Ferris wheel is the London Eye, Joey. It's the spokes on the London Eye. Yeah, you've beat me to it. The lines on the London Eye are borderline blown on that. But yeah, but we all do it. First ones we set up, and then it's like, phew, we set up. We do set up for failure first time we go out on skin.
Yep, and it's cool that you're willing to send it in, and obviously we know that you're doing some fantastic stuff now, but it's always cool to see where people started. And yeah, and he's telling you now, he definitely shot himself in the foot on this, man. That is a lot for the first tattoo on human skin, dude. That is tough. That is tough. Shoot. All right, so I guess we're gonna look at the second one Joey did.
Line central.
Yeah. And you sent in the reference, man. Super ballsy, right? It's all there. It's you followed the stencil when you were doing it, right? So that was cool. It's just obviously the lines are a bit on the inconsistent, shaky side of things. But again, tattoo number 2, obviously the shading we can see as well, very much, on that sort of scratchy, trying to figure it out kind of way. But it's crazy to see how far you came, man, and real smooth stuff now.
That's it. It's like he says, he's putting thing. I just wanted to show you guys these, so it helps encourage not to give up. Exactly.
Yeah, and these weren't horrible, Joey. I mean, I think that I'm sure you could probably go and rework that in no problem, and really end up with something fantastic if you haven't already, for that matter.
I've seen a lot worse.
Oh, I mean, yeah, way better. My first 3 tattoos were tiny, man. Well, no, first, yeah, they weren't very large. So right on. And then your third one, I think this is obviously the best of the bunch. That black was saturated, though. I give him solid credit there. That's some solid saturation, man. Little skulls look good. The lining is much, much better here. Yeah, it's definitely encouraging to other people. But at the same time, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who's like, man, my first 3 tattoos did not look that good. Minus the first one. Big Ben, you shot yourself, bud.
Yeah,
that was tough, man. That was tough.
You set yourself up, really did, with all them lines, really did set yourself up for failure with that one. Lines, parallel lines, long lines. That is just a nightmare of a tattoo to do at any point.
Yeah, but I mean, kudos. Thanks, Joey, for sending them in, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I mean. That stuff you should real quick, man. Send us maybe one of your more recent pieces, so people who maybe never seen your work can see like this is where Joey started, and then we can see where you're at. So I'll
exactly. It's one of them things. Persistence pays off.
Does, yeah, for sure. Oh, Big Ben, big old Ben. Yeah. But you're right, Andy. If you can go back into that and rework that with some shading, and you do your best you can. But all right, we got Danik, and then hopefully, Joe, you're able to shoot us maybe a newer piece. So again, people who maybe don't know your work as well can see where you were to where you've come. Danik, what's up, Danik? Sending some work in. Right on, man. This was the first time I touched a tattoo machine with 2 months of watching Dave's YouTube videos. This was the first time I touched a tattoo machine with 2 months of watching Dave's YouTube videos. All right, man. Let's see what we got. Hey, not too shabby, Danik. Hey, yeah, all right. Them lines look pretty crisp, man. You know, circles are a bit hard, but overall, not too shabby at all. I like the shading. Got like this, especially I like what's going on down here with the stipple shading and whatnot. Definitely got some nice depth here. Shaded that socket nice, give it a little bit of a curve in there. That black's pretty solid. Yeah, yeah. Took a liberty to darken some stuff up, which is cool. I think maybe a little, maybe cross hatching the other way in some of these spots would have, you know, and come out and maybe smooth it out a little bit more. But overall, man, I don't know, Dan or Joey or Andy, better give him some crap for all the BS he gives you all the time for being an elder and old and
that's it. I mean, it's. I mean, let's be right, Danny. You know what I mean? If we'd have seen this from off, we'd have told you to pack it in. It's shite. You know what I mean? What are you doing, toucher? You don't have the right to touch a tattoo machine. And for that, we're just going to give your email address out to everybody so that they can send you hate mail. You know, with our blessing. So you can read it all while you're sat on toilet at work, skiving, listening to live shows. No, it's like what 2 months. 2 months of watching your videos, and then this is the first time I picked up a tattoo machine.
Dang,
I mean,
it's nice, man.
Right, let's look at, if you're looking at line work, circles are going to be bad for anybody.
But you know what? After I'm looking at the reference, though, it kind of followed the reference.
It does. You know? But again, this is what we're about. You follow the reference. So he stenciled off the reference. And if you, and I don't mean with this one, but if you have a bad stencil, you will have a bad tattoo because that's all you've got to follow. That's all you've got to follow. So, and as we can see, it's pretty much as the picture. So he stayed true to his stencil, he stayed true to his picture, and for 2 months. There you go. It's not bad. It's not bad at all for 2 months, to be fair.
Thanks, Danik. Super nice of you. Super nice of you, especially coming from Danik, who is a jokester for sure, man. But yeah, definitely, man. It's a solid piece, man. I like that he went a little on the darker side personally. Shadows are in the right spot. Yeah, it's a good piece, man. Thanks for sending in, Danik. It's nice to see some the work you got going on, man. Yeah, there people are saying in the chat, which I'm sure you can see, that yours is actually a bit nicer than the reference, and I agree. I think that you took those shadows to another level, a bit of a darker level, which kind of makes it read nicer. So yeah, man, right on. I look forward to hopefully you're able to send us some more as you keep going, dude. Super nice. All right. Well. Again, Danik, thank you. Joey is up next, man. So here we go. That was Joey's work that you saw before on human skin. Joey sent in a piece on fake skin, and absolutely nice, man. Awesome stuff. Getting the super soft shades in fake skin is actually quite tricky, and did a wonderful job at it. He also does work on human skin too. That is also wonderful as well.
Yeah.
But this is super cool, guys. If you're not, go check Joey out. He's a fantastic member of the channel, and he's, you know, like many other people, are here to help where they can. So right on. Thank you, Joey.
Yeah, nice piece.
Absolutely nice piece, man.
And like you said, he put himself out there. He's shown you his first work, and this is where he's got himself to. Perseverance and hard work. That's what it takes. Perseverance and hard work.
He used Mass Pro cards too, Andy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right on. Right on. Right on.
Nice work as always.
Right on. Yeah, that's cool. I forgot to ask him about that. I know he got some. I didn't know that he was using them. So right on. They're a decent cart. Okay. All right. We'll drop that down. It's just me and you now, Andy. And yeah, if you guys got any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat, or anything you want to say or point out, or if you have any complaints about your email being shared, you can write them on a piece of paper and throw it in the trash. because there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not bright enough to figure it out. And could blame my parents, I guess, but it's not their fault either. I just didn't learn.
Thing, don't you?
I just didn't educate myself.
Send it to spam or block them. You know, I mean, it's just like, you know, shit emails. You just press block button.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing we can do about it. We move on, guys. All this bullying here, gosh.
It's like we've said. You're sending your work in for basically just two everyday tattoo artists / idiots that like tattooing.
That's it.
To have a look at and see what we see and give you any feedback. If you don't think you're going to like what we say or how we do it, we've done enough of these. We've been at it for over a year now.
Yeah.
Don't send them in.
Yeah, don't. I mean,
don't send them in. The format's not changed. Has it, Dave?
No, we've been doing this for, like I said, a year now. And I understand maybe somebody jumps in, they don't really know. Watch a little bit of it before you submit work. I would assume somebody would do that. I would assume you would watch a little bit and go, huh, are he just showing all the freaking email addresses? Oh, I ain't doing this. This guy ain't happening. And if you don't do that due diligence, which is important to do anywhere you're at, you know, do a little searching before, you know, you do things. Maybe not everybody does that, but anyhow, I would advise you to do that. And, but you send it in, you get a couple idiots on the internet who don't know how to, or what have you. And that's what happens. But most of you guys understand that. You don't care, but I just figured we'd address it one last time since it was such a thing there. And I thought the chat was really nice as well, guys. You're quite respectful. I tried to be at first, but I think some people just want to hear themselves complain. And now I ain't got time for it. You know what I mean?
It's funny because just before we come on, like I said, we were on about Facebook Karens finding us on YouTube. But like I said, it's just one of them things. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't like it. Don't send it in. And we've always been adamant from the off that we are just too normal. We're nothing special, just too normal, average, everyday tattoo artists that enjoy what we do, make a living off what we do, but are willing to give up our free time and provide you with any help, information, or anything that we can to bring you guys along.
Yeah, that's it.
That is it. And to be fair, you try to do that, and at some point, somebody still comes along and wants to shit on you for doing it.
All the time. Yeah. You're never gonna be perfect, guys. It's your work's never gonna be perfect, and that's definitely something that we try to come to grips with, and just try to do better. Just try to do better, and it's tough because you're always holding ourselves to higher standards every time, and I think that's a good thing. But also, it can be tacking on the mind when you're your next piece and you're going, well, that wasn't quite as good as my one I did before. But you know, some are better than others. Sometimes I think sometimes it's the design. Sometimes it's this, it's that. But let's see. From viewers, David, do you ever get? Oh my gosh, dude, you have no idea. I've gotten so much hate over the years, man. Death threats. I've had to block people, and I don't like to because I like to keep things natural. If someone's got something to say, but sometimes you have no choice, man. It definitely has gotten to me many a times in the past. I'd be lying if I said I don't take it a little bit now. But you just have to keep moving. I've used it personally to fuel myself, to continue pushing me, to prove people wrong. And some I have, and some probably not yet, and maybe I never will. But I try to let it fuel me, and to keep us all humble all the time. Andy?
Yeah, you do. I mean, I haven't been at it nowhere near as long as you, and you already getting the shit coming in. The thing is, you put yourself out in the public eye, you're bound to get it. Now, for me, I'm just too old, too long in tooth to give a flying fart. They want to send it. I'll just block them. You know, I mean, I'm not even rising to the case. I'll just block them, just won't reply to them, or whatever, because there's enough people out there that appreciate what you do. But like we said, there's just some people that like to hear the sound of their own voice moaning.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, first thing you got to do is get thick skin when it comes to this job. Especially when you put yourself out in public eye like we've just done. And Dave's been at it for ages. And people just, I think, make it a pastime to try and make you miserable. And to be fair, I'll be honest, my shoulders are made of Teflon. There's not going to stick on them. So it's quite simple. It'll just slide off them. It'll just slide off. And as we were saying earlier, no matter what you do, no matter what we do or what you guys do, like Mad says there, develop thick skin. Because you've got to let a lot of stuff slide. You know. You have
to, Andy. Because if not, it'll just, you'll I've talked to you about it, on several occasions about, the level at which it comes at me. And it's calmed down a lot. In the beginning, it was a lot. But there was a lot of love too. And that carried me along, I think, just knowing that, all right, yeah, this, that, and the other. But it comes back around. It comes and goes. You'll get minor, you'll get big stuff. But, and it's all different variations, whether they hate that you're helping people or they just think you suck, it varies from everything. And again, I have learned to try to use it to fuel me. What I do nowadays is if somebody will DM me or leave a comment or whatever, like that sucks, I'll ask them because, well, I am still trying to learn myself too. And I also, a lot of times think my work sucks at times, it's just nature of what we are and how we work. So I will ask them, what sucks about it? And a lot of times I don't hear anything, or I get like a really asshole-ish remark back. And in those cases, I just, okay, well, you've brought no value to your claim, so therefore there's nothing I can do. But yeah, sometimes I wish I wasn't in any sort of public eye at all, because then I could just tattoo and post stuff. But when you do tattoo critiques and you do this sort of thing, you open yourself up to be criticized because people go, well, let me go look at your work. And then they go, oh, well, this is bad, or why'd you do that, or this, that, and the other. And it sucks, but it's part of the way it goes. You don't really have much choice. I enjoy sharing stuff, whether it helps people or not. And I know Andy does too.
Yeah, enjoy sharing. Does my work suck? Yeah, it does at times. Is it the best? No, it ain't. Somebody says it, says, well, so what? I've just been at it long enough and I'm making a living out, and I've still got a client list, and I've still got plenty of clients with a waiting list.
Right.
That are willing to come with just because you don't like it. If you don't like it, shut your pie hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jog on. Exit stage left. For me, it's.
Yeah.
But you see, the difference between me and you, Dave, you get comments like that, you might go, it sucks, I'll just go block.
Yeah, no, I do block.
I just go block.
Especially around, there was a lot of them, and I did block a lot of them.
And
I did.
To be fair, mate, it's same with numbers on my phone or I don't like that. They come in and it's like unknown number, block. Obviously, if you can't show me your number and you can't tell me who's phoning me, you know what I mean? Don't want to speak to you. See you later. Get off. I don't want to know. I don't want to know you. I'll just block them. And it's not because of anything else. It's just, that's it. That is just straight it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's the environment that I've been brought up through, because I've always been brought through on a construction site, and it's always been like that. You got to be pretty much thick-skinned, hard-headed, and work my way through. And you work your way through up through working on site supervisor to contracts manager, and then you've got to deal with it all crap from all levels. So in the end of it, you just got to give it. You've either got to let it fly or give it back out. At that point, I'd give it back out, but now I've got to an age where it's like I just seriously can't be arsed with it, Dave.
Yeah, I never responded to any of them. Like, aside from if I felt like maybe I had something to gain by asking them, hey, what do you mean by this? But no, I mean, I'm not. Some people just want to arouse a reaction out of you, and I give them no reaction because I have no reaction to give you, because I'm I there've been plenty of times I've typed stuff and then deleted all of it and said, I'm not even playing this game. You know what I mean? Some people will literally try to get to you. And what am I going to do? Hate on them back? And then what? What have we accomplished? Absolutely nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. You're far better off just deleting it and moving on.
Yeah.
If you can take something from a negativity, take it from it. I will say that from experience. There was definitely times when people were saying, yo, what the hell? This is horrible. And at times where they weren't wrong, you know. But you know when people are like really giving you the shit or whether they're being honest and fair. Definitely be open to take constructive criticism when you can, you know. Joey says they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah. I don't know whether you've got one thing in. I know Kieran's been in and out all night.
Oh, yeah?
You guys done with he sent it to the wrong email address.
Oh, yeah. We can take a look at your work. Yeah, if you send something in,
yeah,
Karen, we can absolutely.
He sent it to the wrong email address and he's resent it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I see something here. Let me move my screens around. Bubble bam. Karen. Ooh, I like that butterfly. I think I know that reference you used. First tattoo on fake skin started with fruit using Evo Tech S machine, 7-round liner, 7-round mag, 13-round mag on cheap ass fake skin. I like your needle options or your choices in needles. Good choices. Hey, and this is some crappy fake skin, so saturation is always going to be a little patchy, but it looks like you definitely took the time and really tried to saturate this thing. So props to you there. The butterfly looks pretty nice. The drop shadow seems appropriate. I mean, for a very early on tattoo, some of the lines might be a little thicker than they need to be, but you know, fake skin early on, that's not bad for a beginning.
It's like you say, I mean, fake skin, saturation is always going to be a problem in fake skin. What I will say, I'm looking at the right hand wing. The saturation in the right hand wing is far better than the saturation in the the left hand side. Yeah. And Kieran, what I will say, left hand side wing, where the bottom part of the wing comes up to the top part of the wing, you would have it joining. You just seem to have a bit of a gap already there. The black, thicker part of the outside, and again, like Dave says, as you come along, shall we say, the veins or the inner part of the wing, they would actually be thinner. But they're just things to look at. Same with the antennas; they'd be a little bit thinner. But I mean, you're on cheap ass fake skin, got drop shadowing. Butterfly seems to be pretty much okay. You just got to just be careful in your saturation issues, and like we said, just the little details, like where the veins come in, things like that. So no, it's not bad. It's not bad from off. Just keep your eyes open, keep what you're doing. I'm looking at the outside shape of the butterfly, the line that goes around the outside, and I know it's been packed up to black, but that looks quite smooth. All the way around the outside. It don't look too janky and wobbly. So just keep thinking. Yeah. But what I would say, Kieran, is maybe invest in some better skin. Dissect that skin into 4, work slightly smaller, so the skin's more expensive, but you might get 4 smaller tattoos out on it, so it'll work out more cost effective, but your tattooing experience will be a lot better as well. Just try that, mate.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a great potential here. Looks like you took your time, and the things you want to improve on will improve. It's just going to take time, You ride a bike.
Eyelash man. Mr. Eyelash man.
Hey, Jeremy, you got lucky here. We haven't opened it back up. This is the last one we'll take a look at, and then we will take questions or whatever. If you guys got anything you want to talk about, just throw it in the chat now. We'll try to jump over there and take a look at it. Hey, guys, here are some of my first. Maybe will be my 1-year anniversary of tattooing. So these are some of your first. All right, right on. Hey, actually, I don't remember seeing this one, Jeremy.
I haven't seen this one.
A little bit of something in the eyes maybe, but other than that, I quite like it. It's got a nice amount of contrast to it. We know your work, so we're talking from a place of understanding where you're at and what you're doing. Yeah, you quite like this one a bit too, then, Andy.
Yeah, it's got some nice contrast in it. This one. And what I will say, if this were your first, what you seem to have done is you've gone along, because I know at one point it went really light, if you remember. And we were saying you need to put a bit more. So you've gone from dark and having it in to going super light to bringing it back in. Other than, like Dave says, other than maybe a couple of little things a bit funky with eye and as we're looking at the left-hand side of the mouth, but the overall shades and shadows and stylistic choice, I don't quite mind.
Yep, there's a little something going with the eyes and this side of the lip, but for the first one you had done, I agree. There's something going on there. Yeah, I think again with the eyes a little bit here, but if we don't look at the eyes, and just because they're for some reason just yelling at me a little bit, I like what you did. A little bit of smooth shading under the cheeks, nice dark shadow over here, nice little dark shadow under there. The shirt looks pretty cool. I like the style that you did the hair in, but I certainly remember this one, and it looks like you've gone back in and added a bit to it, which really improved it. Obviously, you can't take away. It's like you can, go back in and, do something different to the eyes, obviously. But
yeah, I like on this one. I like the lips on this one. And what? Well, I like the ear. You know how the ear is, and it looks like the hair's tucked behind the ear, and the shape and the flow. It looks like you've got the lobe and the inner part of the ear, and this part, this outer part here goes around it, and that. And I also like how he's got the really dark shadow under the right-hand side of the chin, coming down the shoulder, down towards the shoulder.
Yeah,
which makes it pop. I do think he may have gone in and put a little bit more in it, but I still can't see no eyelashes. Where's the eyelashes? Where's the eyelashes?
More eyelashes, Jeremy.
Get the eyelashes or get out of Dodge.
Yeah, man, it's always good.
Cool.
Build a rapport with people and see their work and see how far they've come and what they're working on and all that jazz, guys. It's super fun. It's a double-edged sword doing it, but I think the one side is sharper than the other, and that's why we still hang out. Plus, what else are we going to do on a Sunday, man? I'm kidding. I'd be playing Fortnite with my kid, but it's okay.
The thing is now, you get a bit of a community and a bit of a regular, and I mean the figures aren't massive or anything, but you've got regulars coming outside, and you're all great people. It's just you get the odd one now before you get a few, and you get trolled the living shit out of. But hey, it's just something that you've got to accept when you put yourself out there. And hey, don't get me wrong, there'll be even all these massive YouTube channels, no matter what they're doing, they'll get trolled to living crap as well. So it's not just us. If you watch enough YouTube videos and go back and look through a lot of people's videos, even when they're popular, there'll be a video in there about all the hate and everything that they get for some reason when they're just trying to make content, basically. It's madness.
Yeah, it is. And to remember that, I always remind myself, it's the internet. Anybody can say or do anything they want to do, and if you don't love what you're doing or have passion for what you're doing, then don't do it. Especially not on the internet, because the internet will eat you. But if you love what you're doing, you have passion for it, you'll just wade through it, man. Because there's a lot of amazing people. I love, what do we got? Like 45 people, right? There's 213,000 subscribers, right? And 45 people. But I prefer these. Like, this is what I like. I like the smaller, less people, because then we get the people who want to be here, not, the masses, which come with a whole bunch of crazy stuff, I promise.
Yeah.
But because I feel like I've learned more by doing these critique videos and talking to different people and having respect respectful people here that I know from the chat and different people, and talk to them, and they've helped my workout as well, and whatnot. So it's been just a super rewarding thing as well. Definitely not to take that away from anything.
Yeah. Smoke's right there. It's but people say things to me online, but usually from 3,000 miles away. Well, yeah, that's usually what it is. You know what I mean? The keyboard warriors. They've got no else to do. Keyboard warriors.
Yeah, and it's you know what's great, Andy? It's what I love to do is I love to, and I don't know, because the internet goes against us, encourage people the best we can, you know. And I think that's why sometimes people say, "Well, you guys are pretty nice sometimes," because it's easy. It's so easy to hate. It's so easy to tear people down. It's so easy. I mean, like, think about it. But what you don't see a lot of is you know, people trying to build other people up, and so definitely try to do that here. Whether it's right or wrong, some people will say, "Oh, well, you're encouraging bad work." It's like, well, no, you just can tell when somebody's got some passion about it. You can tell when someone's trying, and so you try to encourage that, right? That's pretty much what it is.
It is. And like you say, can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, unfortunately.
It's true. And when we help people who are passionate, we're going to help some people who just want to do a mess. You know, you're going to, by helping the people who are hungry or looking for anything and just trying to guide somebody, you're going to help that guy who bought the machine yesterday and just scribbled all over their arm. Unfortunately, that's not the person we're trying to reach. It's not the person we're trying to help. But along the way, you're going to get those things. So anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, it is what it is. It's at the end of the day. If it was, let's put it this way, if it was that bad that it was unbearable, there's always there's just a delete button on channel. Do you know what I mean? It's just a delete button on channel. It's just like, boom, off you go. You just go back to your old life. But there we go. It's just one of them things.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an opportunity to. It's hard to make money in art, I think, or through any sort of art medium, and so tattooing, I'm just so appreciative of it because it's an opportunity to learn a skill, something that's different, and to be able to make a living off it. It's like I'm so grateful that you can't help but not try to like share that, even though along the way, like I said, you're gonna share it with people who probably aren't gonna do the greatest things or be the most sanitary, you know. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is.
But again, it's like you said, that's why we've said previously in the past, look, when you photograph your work, when you photograph somebody's arm, you photograph a piece of skin, be mindful of where you photograph it.
Yeah.
Look, don't photograph it on the corner of a table where you can see your dog's bed and your dog underneath looking up at it with its tongue out, because somebody in the messages, somebody come along after and they will give you so much crap for being unsanitary. It's it'll be unbelievable. Whereas you might as well just move it further across a bit, make sure all you can see is your square bit of table or a piece of wall behind your arm. Just take a photograph, nothing around. So that's all we're saying. It's not anything else, and that. But you would get so much crap for it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a great point. Thinking about where you take photos. Because sometimes you might have done the tattoo in, you know, a reasonable sanitary area, but then when you go to take the photo, you're like in your bedroom on the bed and you're like, oh, I'm going to take this photo. Oh, you got to think about that, you know, especially if who you're sending it to, they're going to be like, oh man, did you really just tattoo that on your bed? You probably didn't, but photographs give people a wonderful opportunity to give you a hard time. So definitely good advice, Andy. Something to think about, which sometimes we don't think about it. You know what I mean? Just snap the photo wherever you're at. Yeah,
I mean, Jeremy, I've been painting for 20 years, done art shows and everything, and just now thinking about making an IG. Why are you only thinking? Get it done.
Yeah, just do it, man.
If you've painted, mate, and you've done art shows, don't think about it. Get it done. Get your work on here.
Yeah, break the seal on that.
And geez, to be honest, Instagram without like that is pretty non-toxic.
It really is straight up. If you just post stuff and
because it's just somewhere to show your work and that, but it's pretty non-toxic. The most toxic place I've found is YouTube.
It is. Now my problem is the toxicity trizzles over to my Instagram and not so much Facebook though, but Instagram. Yeah, that's for a long time. You know, we get a lot of like a lot of hate there. The shop owners and stuff. At least that's what they say they were, or whoever they are. But yeah, that'll trickle. But if you have no like YouTube to pull people to hate you, you're gonna be fine. People aren't just going over on Instagram like, oh, that's bad, let me go and hate on this person. No, they're gonna come from somewhere else, go to there, and try to.
Because with Instagram and how it works, people are only going to come and look at your work that like that sort of work, down to the hashtags that you put in for people to come and have a look at it. So that's where you wouldn't get the toxicity.
Yeah, Karen, confirm you're the shop bitch. Yeah, I certainly remember apprenticeship, and I was never in the shop. Like, show up, and it was like, oh, I mean, I just wanted to be there and do all the bitch work, but I couldn't even do that because it was like, go to my house and stoke my fire, and then work on this, or take you out to this field where my broken truck is at. I need you to fix the brake lines on it, and go drop my girlfriend off these roses, then go over there and do. I mean, it was like never in the shop. I was just happy when I could just like experience shop, just experience, right? And then when it came to education, it was not there. It was like, you can watch me. And I remember asking, like, can you guys just show me how to like set up a machine? It was not happening. And I was there for a while, and it was straight up. Then all of a sudden they wanted me to buy it. It was a real wreck, man. And so it put a bad taste in my mouth for apprenticeships. And I think that's why I exited, and encouraged people to learn on their own. So I have one perspective of things, and it's a biased perspective, but I've seen just through being on the internet and whatnot, and talking to people, a lot of apprenticeships have gotten a lot better. I don't think there's anything wrong with cleaning the toilets. I'm sure you know that, Karen, or, painting a bathroom, stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're there. They're going to teach you stuff. In the return, you're either going to pay them or you're going to do some work around there. I think there's a certain level of that. And some people absolutely take advantage of that. And that's all the ones you want to be careful of. But I would say for the most part, I would imagine most places are pretty decent. You just got to be mindful of that. And you got to be passionate, because they're going to see that, and they're going to know whether you are or not, and they'll let you go if you're not. But yeah, cool on.
Yeah. It's well, I don't know what day we're going live over on mine. Is it about either Wednesday or Thursday? Don't know what we'll find so much of bullshit about anyway when we go live this week again.
Yeah.
Although I got to admit, I did screw up today when I put that video out. I set it to Premiere, Dave, and I didn't realise. Yeah, I set it to Premiere. I didn't realise that you're live in the chat at the side of it when your video premieres.
Yeah.
And then Jason went, hey up on how you doing? I'm like, what the hell? Oh shit! I better stay in chat.
Yeah, definitely Premiere. And also, if you're premiering and someone's like, oh, Andy's got a video out, and they click on it, they can't watch it from the beginning. They're watching it exactly where it's at until it's done premiering as well. So that kind of things too, and people jump in. I've messed with them. I don't really do them. But Jeremy, if you make an Instagram, we'll all go follow you, promise, bud.
Yeah, I just thought I'd try it. I was being curious, Dave. I just thought I'd try it.
Yeah, definitely.
I just went click, 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 and then it just seemed to take forever for it to come on and premiere. It was like, oh my god! I even went into settings to see whether I could cut it down, but because it was already premiering, and that I couldn't cut it down. So, but hey, it's one of them things. It went up, and again, like I said, I didn't even know with the premiere, Dave.
Yeah,
it was live, and there was live chat. I had to be in live chat until, like I said, Jason went, hey up on them, like, Oh, screwed the pooch here.
You learn, man, and now you know. I didn't try a Premiere till like a few months ago, and yeah, I think I will have a. I don't make a lot of videos that much, just time wise, and hopefully we'll do some more live streaming here and there. But I do have a new video. Hopefully it might be coming out this week, maybe next week on the new machine. I've been loving it. It is the Grand by Amela, and still working on editing a little bit. Started working on it today. I got to get that out soon, so you might see that. If you're interested in watching it, feel free to. Don't feel obligated to do anything other than watch it. Yeah, I've where did this comment go? Karen said, I've lived where is it at? I've lived some of these horror stories. I'm so happy to have my new apprenticeship in a great shop with good people who are great artists. That is awesome. That's awesome, Amber. And hopefully you listen to them, you follow in the direction that they have for you, especially if they're good artists. They got there somehow, and got to clean bathrooms and do that sort of thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. As clearly you've been through a bad one, you know what a good one looks like. And I'm glad to hear you there. Let's see what else we got, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. We got about 15 more minutes or so, and then we'll start getting off of here. Good luck in your apprenticeship. All right, what am I clicking on here? What do we got? All right, well, anyhow, what you got coming up this weekend? Anything crazy?
A bit of a quiet week. So I've got some stuff to get done in shop. When autoclaves is knackered, so that's got to get sorted out.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to get that sorted out this week. Somebody asked, and I don't know. Somebody asked, or Silaslav, he asked if I could get a small video put together. If I wouldn't mind doing a small video about wrapping machines, so I might get to do that.
Okay.
This week. I don't know. But like I say, I mean, that one that I put out today, set all camera equipment up there, video recording it, camera and everything. Jeez, an hour in, camera shit the bed. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So like, how come I lost about half an hour's worth of footage, and then I didn't realise it shuts off every half an hour.
What camera are you using?
You what?
What camera are you using?
Oh, it's just a Nikon camera.
Okay. Mine does the same every 30 minutes as well.
Yeah. So you're like having to go back up to do it. It was like, so it shit the bed. Battery lasted about an hour and it died, and you can't charge and record with it.
Well, here's what I would do. The one that's on my mounted to the wall that booms out, I got a plug, so it plugs in to like a battery, but it has a cord coming out of it, and I run that to plug it in. If you do that way, you can record for way longer than 30. You can record eternally until your card fills up, and you don't ever have to worry about changing the battery out. On this one, the one that I do for like my heads up camera that I'm talking to, that's on a 30-minute at a time. Then it dies. So every 30 minutes, I gotta go and click the little button again.
Yes, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just looking into getting a, shall we say, for over it, like a digital camcorder. Yeah. Those are pretty good. They're continuous. They charge and run, and like I say, it's continuous. It's not in a 30-minute loop.
Yeah, those are nice. Definitely a good way. The phones still do pretty good. My problem is because I have a Windows set up as a computer and then a Apple phone, getting the footage from the phone to the computer, it's a pain in the butt. Another reason why I dislike Apple for that sort of stuff. Yeah, Crypto Green, he says, hey, Dave, do you and the family have a move date set? An approximate move date, yes. We're looking to move we'll call it the first day in August is at the latest. We'll say the first week in August at the latest. The wheels will turn. We'll be heading there. I will be flying out to Texas in July, and locking on a house to rent, and then flying back home. And that way it's ready to go come, end of July, beginning of August. And I hope, to be tattooing in Texas by the end of August. That would be my personal goal. We'll see what happens. Life is crazy. You got to be able to roll with the punches. So, yeah. But this week, tomorrow, Andy, I go in for some mouse or some sinus surgery. So this will probably be my last day of talking good for a little while. So depending on how all this heals and whatnot, will depend whether I'm with you this week on the live stream. And you might not see anything new coming out as far as tattoos go, because of course the hospital let me know like 2 weeks ago out of the blue. I told them like, hey, let me know when you guys set this surgery date up, because I got booking stuff. And then they call like 10 days and goes like, hey, so your surgery on the 17th, we're just gonna ask you a few questions. It's like, what? So then I move a bunch of stuff around, and so anyhow, so I might be out for a little while. Hopefully we'll still be able to go live that Sunday coming up, next Sunday. Hopefully I'm only down for a few days. I really have no idea. They don't tell us much. So
like I say, even if I go live chatting, but you can't make it, Dave. Sure, your fingers may still work. Just enjoy.
Yeah. As I
you'd be laid on bed watching YouTube, tapping away on your phone while Alicia's downstairs running around like a mad woman after kids, because we know that's what you do.
Yeah, you know it. Now Dad has to be the force, I have to be the bad guy at times. We go back and forth. It's like, all right, I've been a bad guy too long. You gotta go do the job. It's a bit back and forth, but the kids are actually relatively decent. I'm sure I'm putting my foot in my mouth now, so tomorrow will probably be horrible. It's the way it goes. Anyone know a good artist in North Carolina I can try apprenticeship? I don't know. We'll throw it out there, man. We'll throw it out there, Jason. I would love to see you get an apprenticeship, Jason, because I know you're passionate about it, man. The passion is definitely there, man. I hope.
Like I say, some one-to-one help, face-to-face, I'll bring you on a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it's huge. Dude, helping people on the internet is it's hard. It's really hard. It's definitely a thing you want to have somebody there that can kind of see what you're doing in real time. But I will say, just as a caveat, if you do get an opportunity, take it, but be careful. I've seen shops just make sure that you want to work for that person. Like, make sure that their work is decent enough, and that hey, this is a person I would like to learn from. It's okay to say no.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily want to learn from you. I mean, it can be harsh, and you can turn down an opportunity, but it's something to think about, because I didn't do that at first, and I should have.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to say, but if you get an opportunity and you go in, don't grasp onto that opportunity with two hands and hold on tight, because otherwise, if they're taking mick out of you and having you running around and not bringing you along, you don't just keep hold of it. Just be willing to let go and say, it's not working out for me. Go somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Come away from it, rather than getting used as a bit of a mug and that. But
yeah, absolutely. You gotta kind of protect yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's hard though when you really want that opportunity. For me, I took it the first thing that came, and I guess that is on me at that point. Are we all getting together during this week again? Yeah, over at Andy's channel. I got your channel over here, Andy. Let me throw it on the screen. I haven't done that today. Oh, no, I don't. Wait. Oh, come on, Dave. Oh, wait. No, I have your email for your critique. Oh, wait, here it is. Okay, no, I do have it. All right. So minus the email address, but Andy's YouTube channel is The Tattoo Studio.
Dave, no. You've given my email address out
to people. Man.
I am going to be so upset.
You had me worried, man. I was like, what did I do? What did I do?
Oh, well, somebody just phone the internet police and just...
You know how much hate you're going to get, buddy.
Get them to come and sort Dave out.
You're gonna hate you,
released
bud.
my personal details that I personally give him and let him have the use of.
That's right. That's how much I hate you, Andy. Just
Yeah.
so much that I'm gonna let random people send you emails, and they might have words on them, words that may or may not destroy your life. I don't know how you're gonna recover.
Can I let you into a secret, Dave?
Just don't tell anybody else other than
Words on
me
them
and
as
you.
the one. You can have as many words on them as one. I can't read. Only when I want to. That's when I can read. Other than that, I can't read.
So your wife's just like, you got a little earpiece, and your wife's back there just whispering what to say.
Yeah, she's usually stood outside on conservatory, you know, with binoculars.
Geez, for 2 hours, man, that poor lady.
Brian Doe wants a bit of baby oil. You know what I mean?
For the fans, for your fans, Andy, baby oil, little baby oil. You gotta
for the fans.
Either you know or you don't know. You're like, what is going on with this? But you have officially been doxxed, Andy. Your email is scrolling at the bottom of the screen with your YouTube channel. So it's gonna be ugly, bud. It's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna be. Go check it out.
Early retirement.
Email. Hate mailers will be deleted.
What? Yeah, deleted? Have you no respect for the hate?
No respect for the hate.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. It's gonna be there. It's in definitely a learned thing for me, anyhow, because I don't know. I'm just not a hateful person. So when you see people hating, it's like, man, how does somebody just hate for the sake of it? But they exist, and yeah, man, Jason, I think you're gonna like it, man. I think you'll like it. Let me know. I will if I don't respond back to you, but it's probably because I'm like, got freaking whatever it is they're doing. So luckily I'll be under for it, but I don't know. You ever just not trust the medical people? It's like you went in, I had to go do all these different tests and stuff and scans and stuff. And then I got to drive all this way to go to a consultation for this surgery. And the guy, you know, people are walking by, this dude scrolls in. I guess he's like a doctor, a nurse. I don't know who the heck he was. It's like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to put a, blah, 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 blah. Okay, somebody will get a hold of you. I'm like, what? Like, you just have I've never had as little faith as I do in the medical operation than I do for this one. So, well, I don't know. Pray for me if you're a praying type.
Well, it's weird because
I've never been so nervous for a surgery. I have plenty of surgeries, but this one, I don't know why. Anytime they ever mess with my teeth or my mouth or anything in there, it's never been good. It's always been just horrendous. So I'm like, oh, great.
It's like you're on about that, Dev. It's like what was it? Obviously, a couple of years ago. You know when they had heart attack.
You had a heart attack?
Yeah, I was walking home from shop.
You saw my work, didn't you? You were like, oh God, it's horrible.
I was in shop one day, and I was feeling. I just felt like I got flu. Feeling under weather. So I started closed up early, and I was walking home. I got to the corner of our street, just like that, had a heart attack.
Dang, you're giving Danik a lot of fuel here.
Managed to get home. Wife phoned ambulance. It took an hour. I was having a heart attack for an hour. It took an hour for an ambulance to turn up. She had to phone them twice. It took an hour.
Dang.
But got in. Anyway, they come like middle at night, early morning. He says after your breakfast, we're taking you down into theatre. They went, do you give us permission to fix whatever they find while we're in there? And I'm like, yeah, give me paperwork. Not got a clue what's going on.
Oh no, man.
You know what I mean? I'm like, just give me paperwork, I'll sign it. But I goes down at nurse says to me, make sure when you go down, make sure you go to the toilet for a pee before you, because it's freezing. You got his gown, so I goes down, sure as exit, we're freezing. And I gets in there, and there's about 12 or 13 of them, and they're all laughing about going out on piss, the night before and having a curry and a kebab and this, that, and other. And I'm like, the thing, and they just go, get on table. That's what they went. They went, get on table. So I get on table, and they went, put your arm out. So I put my arm out like that, and I'm like that. Just brought the screen down, and he went, right. Just give you a tiny little bit of local anaesthetic there. That one, I got no anaesthetic. I want under and anything. There's a screen outside with a picture of me heart beating away. There's one with me up, wide awake, no anaesthetic, no sedative, no note, straight in. Next thing I seen, there's a wire inside me heart like that.
Oh, dang, man.
2.5 hours. 2.5 hours I was there. You know what I mean? Like
No
that.
thanks.
No anaesthetic or anything. You know what I mean? Just wide awake, and you can see it. You can see your heart pumping away, and I got that bored in the end. You know, I was looking around. Actually, looking around. I remember looking around operating theatre, thinking, "Can I see any cobwebs?"
Oh man, yeah. I mean, this is Kenza and other people are talking about right now during my emergency appendix. You know, I can't read.
Yeah.
Me and Andy went to the same school. I woke up. Oh, anyhow, she woke up in the middle of the operation, and that's how it was the last couple times they worked on my. Anytime I've had any dental stuff, and they had to put you under, it was the same. And so I'm like traumatized by. I'm like, oh no. And they asked me how much I weighed, and I just gave them like the last time I remember, I was like 220. And I forgot. I'm like, oh crap, that's for the anesthesia. They want to know for the anesthesia. I wouldn't weighed myself. It was like 230. I'm like, well, I had jeans and stuff on. But anyhow, I was like, crap, I should have told him like 250. Knock me out. I don't want to wake back up. But no, it was like hopefully 5-10 pounds doesn't make too much weight. And I also realized, like, dang, I've been put on too much weight since getting out of the Marine Corps. I need to all this sitting down, designing tattoos, sitting down, tattooing. It's like I need to get back at it again. But you know how it goes.
Yeah, and like I said, when they were done with me, they went, just all moved away there. When they were done with me, they went, sit up. So sat up on, I sat up on the thing. They went, how do you feel? I'm like, yeah. They went, okay. Go out, walk out, go sit in waiting room. I walked straight out of surgery and sat in waiting room while nurse come and took all cannulas and everything out of the back of my hand just in case they needed to give me out.
Oh man. Oh no. So I guess all things considered, I feel so much better knowing that everybody else has horrible medical experiences. So yeah, and then they tell you like, oh yeah, and it might 50% of the time it works, 50% we had to do it again. I'm like, oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
But
so yeah.
Whatever. I'm just crying to cry. I need to.
Yeah, it's. Oh no, I thought I told you that. I thought you told you I had a heart attack.
You may have actually. You may have. Might have been off camera. We were talking about it.
Yeah, just weird. I just got to work feeling. I had a few. I felt like heartburn, and that for about a week or so before. I just felt like got heartburn or I pulled my chest, a little bit. That, And then I went to work. Went in studio. Just felt like I got flow. Come home. Got to Corner Street. Here, have that.
Yeah, my dad recently had a heart attack. Right around like 2021, I think it was, and he was feeling bad for a while there. And then it was just like, all right. And he don't go to the hospital for nothing. It's similar, man. I hate going to the hospital unless I'm dying or something. And he willingly went and had a heart attack, had to put a stint in and stuff. But yeah, man, it's crazy how you can have it and not really know, or the different degrees of heart attack and kind of craziness they do. But
I've got 4 of them.
4 of them, man. Good Lord. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yeah, crypto green, you're probably right, bud. But what am I going to do? I have a chronic infection in my left sinus cavity. There's like a hole here, and it's bad, man. I got to give it a go. Give it a try, I guess they say. But anyhow. But we've been going for 2.5 hours. The last half hour is been having some fun here. Somehow we got off to. We ought to just thank God that Andy's still alive. Appreciate it. We're glad, Lord. If not, me and Andy wouldn't be here BSing with you guys. So we're grateful Andy is alive, and I will let you guys know if we're on Andy's stream on Wednesday or Thursday or next Sunday. Give you a new report and update on that. For anybody yes, cocaine is bad for the addict. Yes. It's a hell of a thing. I don't think it's anyhow. Guys, I appreciate y'all being here. Andy, thank you again for staying up late over there and being here as well. We appreciate it. Always have a good time. Thanks to everybody who sent their work in and let us take a look at it. I apologize. You've now all been doxxed and will receive hate mail in the very near future. And you're just going to have to deal with that. Yeah. Until next time, y'all. Peace.